Oh, there it is. All right, it's live.
Hello, hello. Oh, it's actually moving live as we set up.
No, it's live.
I wonder why it's not on the screen though. I see it on the app.
Looks a little blurry.
It does look a little blurry.
Why is that? Whoops.
I don't know. This top button isn't working for me. I gotta open this up. There we go.
Okay.
I don't know why it's not on the screen. That's a mystery. A mystery.
As long as it's up,
it is
it's
live.
loaded.
We are okay. There we go.
Okay, good. There we go. Yay! Hi guys, welcome to our show. We don't have a lot to talk about today, actually.
Yeah, so we need you to provide us with things to talk about.
Yes.
Oh, I like those earrings. Little bows. You can't see them from where you are, but you got these little, tiny little bows connected to pearls. It's very, very cute.
Hey, Tiara, Duffman, everyone else who's here. Sorry, the comments went up, so I can't see any longer who is connected.
So in the chat, we have Sweet JP, Resvagram, Bendita Locura, aka Private Pile, Tiara, Duffman number 2, and that's
and Thomas
William
Romero.
Hacking.
Hi, guys. And Félix Dubois.
Yep.
Salut, Félix.
William Hacking's here.
Comment ça va? Duffman says Ubisoft happened, which amounted to nothing.
I heard about that.
I didn't even hear about that. So
I know nothing.
We're a little behind Ubisoft. Anabu says, hey, you guys are doing good. Keep up the work. Thank you.
We'll do. We'll never stop stopping.
Fajari's here. Hi, everyone.
Man, look
Anya.
at all of our
everyone's
friends.
here. I know. This is exciting.
This is like Avengers Endgame when they all show back up. It's like the whole gang's here. Name me a better crossover than the chat right
Sweet
now.
says, is that Sweet and Sour Pork says, is that Edward Snowden? He looks a lot like Ed Snowden.
We don't talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
He looks a lot like
I'm no longer allowed to mention his name. Because
Noble's
of
here.
reasons.
Wow, so many people are here. Okay, well, let's get started with the news, first of all, because there's a lot of news
jams.
to talk about.
Yes. So, up first, the orange sky in San Francisco.
Yes, let's talk about the orange sky. And should we pull up a photo of it to show?
I think everyone's seen it by now.
Everyone
has to have seen it. This is
the
world
orange
news.
sky. Yes. So I don't really know what exactly causes the orange-colored sky over San Francisco.
So I have a basic understanding, because
Mm-hmm.
usually when there's like lots of ground smoke, you get that smoggy gray.
Right.
But the smoke in this case was so high up, and there was like some really interesting visuals of like the smoke resting like at the cloud level, and you couldn't even smell it on the ground from what I heard from people I work with. So it's like it's turning orange because the light can't come through, but it's not low enough where it looks like fog or general smoke.
Well, I know that there are a couple people in the server who, Emerald, for example, is in
San Francisco.
In that area.
Yeah.
Right. And he said that the air quality is awful. It's at the highest warning
I think it's
level.
coming down now.
Yeah. Oh, it's terrible. I feel so sorry for everyone on the West Coast. Please just be careful and stay indoors if need be. And we're thinking about you because it's definitely scary to look at. Everyone is saying it looks like Blade Runner.
It looks just like when I first
it's
saw
like
the
same
image.
filter.
I got like a little like, are they making another Blade Runner? Like, what is
Yeah.
this? And it's like, no, this is legit real.
I know.
It's scary.
It is scary. Oh.
Uh-oh. Luna's chewing on her bone. You can't even see it on the screen, but
You can't see it.
hopefully
but,
you can't hear it.
Yeah, but that wasn't what I was saying about.
Ansel says, you basically need the kind of mask you wear when working with fiberglass to go out in San Fran right now.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
That's terrible.
That's nuts. Also, Pyle said, I'm glad you went with the black dress. Yes, I posted this black dress in a red dress. And I said, which one should I wear tonight? And Pyle said the black dress, so.
Hey, feedback works.
La robe noire.
The electoral system in our Discord.
Yeah, exactly.
Far better.
Exactly.
Than other electoral systems.
But yeah, it's crazy right now what's going on.
Speaking of crazy,
nuts.
I want to hear about the International Phonetic Alphabet.
Well, that's not really news.
Well, no, but I kind of clumped all the things that weren't games or movies together.
So what I have been learning recently, and I should go get the book, but there is this, it's a real thing, the International Phonetic Alphabet. When you go to a dictionary and you look up the letters, when you look up how to pronounce the word ants, it will give you these little symbols of how the letters are supposed to be pronounced.
We should do a reading of some of those sentences.
Yeah, we should.
Is it up in your office?
Yeah.
I'll go grab it.
It's underneath all of my other books.
Got it. I'll find it.
So why I did this was, Rogbill says more than 2 parties in the Discord won. I loathe the 2-party system, but I guess if it is he and I, then it is a 2-party system. More so like a monarchy plus representative, because come on, that's not democracy. Let's be real. No, but really, let me go on talking about what I was talking about. So the International Phonetic Alphabet it is how you are to pronounce words without knowing what they sound like. Right, so I got this because
I'll show them some of the letters.
Edith Skinner was this teacher, and she taught a lot of people in Hollywood. And I just want to talk like Katharine Hepburn. There's really no other point to it other than I love the Mid-Atlantic accent, and that's how I would like to speak. Anya says there's a Kite and Flex Discord. There is, Anya, and I trust you. So I would love to have you join because I like you. There are some crazy people out there. I posted a crazy comment actually this morning from someone who's psychotic, but you, I trust you. So yes, I'll have Flex post a link for that.
Or Pile can.
Or Pile.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pile might be able to post a link if possible. But
What's
so
that crazy text? I wanted to show them on the screen.
I mean, you could just show them what it looks like.
Yeah, so I want to just like. Anyways,
anyways,
this book
this
has
isn't
like the
really-
most bizarre looking font.
This isn't really news, but I'm just learning it because I just wanted to speak like Katharine Hepburn. So this is what it looks like. IPA. It just has letters like this. Let's bring it a little further away. But yeah, so I'm just learning it for my own sake.
Let's read one of your diction exercises.
Well, here's the thing. This is great because it will teach you how to enunciate. Not to spend too long on this, but for example, the word THE. So THE in front of different words would be pronounced differently. So I learned from this book that THE in front of a vowel, it sounds like the. So I'd say the apple, the orange. But THE in front of a consonant is the. And now you can correctly pronounce the versus the and know why. So you learned something today. Duffman says everything needs to be over enunciated. I love the way it's a very fake accent, the Mid-Atlantic accent, because it was just taught on stage and in classic Hollywood. But yeah, I'm learning that. I'm learning French.
Should I post a link to the Discord in the chat?
Actually, Anbu says, how could I join the Discord? I've never seen you before, Anbu. And I'm very selective for a good reason. So maybe stick around and I'll send it to you later. Let's just let this conversation keep going. What next is on the list?
What next is on the list?
What else is there to talk about?
Well, we didn't talk about the cause of the fire.
Well, one of the
We jumped the gun.
There is, yes. So it's been determined that the cause of the fires in California was a gender reveal party.
Yes.
Which is a party where expecting couples will do some big grand event to announce the gender of their baby. And I don't know what exactly device this was, but it caused a fire. And this isn't the first time it happened because I did some research back in 2007, I think, or 2017.
I think it was 2017.
It might have been.
I saw
yeah,
the,
it might have been 2017. Just burned thousands and thousands of acres of land.
They were fined $36 million.
Yes.
Yes.
Because the father, what he did was he created this device that he would shoot and it would blow up. And so the smoke blew up blue, but it also caused fires. It's just, I don't get that. I really don't get that.
Here's what I don't understand. How lame, and if anyone here has had a gender reveal party, this is going to offend you. So I'm sorry.
I don't think they
I'm willing to be
would.
corrected. How lame is your life that you need to set up a party for your unborn child to tell people what its gender is
it's not
in a society where we've determined gender doesn't even really matter anymore?
Duffman says this device is called an explosive. Yes.
Yes.
Let's just call it what it is. It's just an explosive. So the first gender reveal party was a woman who was having a baby, and she had a cake that was iced white, but when you cut it on the inside, the frosting was pink. And from that, we've now moved on to pipe bombs.
When was that?
That was years ago.
Like
she was
in our lifetime or before?
She was the one that made it popular. It was like within the aughts.
Okay. Of course it was.
Yes.
What a
Tiara says, I'm only living currently to one day hold a ridiculous gender reveal. Sweet JP says, how will they get social media likes? That's exactly it. Starkara says, hey viewers, this is my baby's gender video. He immediately shoots a homeless man with rock salt gun, but the salt is blue. Yeah, that's going to be like the Jake Paul.
It really is. Like this whole gender reveal thing just seems like the most self-centered Jake Paul nonsense.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
William Hacking says it's fueled by social media. Yeah, social media is just so. I guess this would be a perfect segue to say we both deactivated our Twitter accounts.
Heck yeah, I never used mine, so I don't even really care.
Yeah, it's just social media has become such a nasty place where people only want to start arguments. I posted a comment in the Discord.
Comment.
Yeah, exactly.
Tiara's comment is 10 out of 10. That's all I'm going to say.
Here, we toast.
We toast to Tiara.
That didn't chime the way I wanted it to.
Well, it's not. These are heavy glass. They're very heavy glass. You're not going to get the kind of chime you're looking for.
I deleted it because I was getting tired of just the... Sorry.
Wahoo!
I was getting tired of the arguing and the fighting because that seems people just go online to argue. Like specifically, someone made a Twitter account to write me this long message about how I am a fake Christian because I love the earth. And I just said, I'm just deleting my Twitter. I don't need to deal with this. I don't do anything productive here. I just feel like this is not a good place. So
it's not, to be fair. I feel like nowhere on the internet is really a good place.
Okay. Starcar says Twitter was flooded with Tumblr refugees a few years back and somehow became even worse. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's where they're coming from. I don't know.
I think they're just coming from everywhere.
Anya says I made a positivity echo chamber on my Twitter. See, I tried to do that too, Anya, but this guy still bothered me. So, yeah, I don't know. Noble Willow says, hi, don't want to offend anyone or dampen the mood, but I'm a pilot in training and want to ask at some point in this stream, could we take a moment to reflect and remember the victims of 9/11? Yeah, absolutely. I think that would be a really, really good thing to do.
Yeah.
We can absolutely do that, and that would be we can end the stream with that. So I don't want to touch on something that is incredibly somber and then move. Okay, guys, now we're talking about. So we'll absolutely do that, Willow. Thank you for bringing that up.
It's a great idea.
That's a really, really nice thing to suggest, and we'll absolutely do that. I was just thinking about that today. It's so. You know what I can't stand is when people make jokes about September 11.
Yeah.
I've seen really disgusting memes and I will never.
No one makes jokes about Pearl Harbor.
I'm sure there's some people who
I'm sure there are, but they don't. I don't hear them like I hear 9/11 jokes. I hear 9/11. Yeah. I never hear jokes about like Pearl Harbor.
It's from people that can remember the day. I don't know. I've never ever thought that was. I've never thought that was entertaining, at all. Oh no! Noble says thanks. Was a bit hesitant putting that in the comments. No, I think that's a really nice, totally sweet thing, and that actually says a lot about you as a person. So I appreciate that. Thank you. That's a really nice, very just mindful person would say a comment like that. So thank you, Noble. That's really nice. I think we'll absolutely do that. So thank you for bringing that up.
Yes. So on a similar note, tell me about Perry Kissick and Leela Fern.
Oh yeah, this is a sweet story. So I actually posted photos of this in the Discord. I had gone to an antique store and I saw a letter that was written in 13. And I love buying old letters at antique stores because I like reading about people's lives. I'll buy letters and postcards. So I bought this letter and I read it, and it was so sweet. It was from this woman, and she was writing to what you could assume from the letter was her boyfriend, just saying, I wish you were here. I'm sitting by the fireplace. If we were here, we'd be sitting in a chair talking together, and I can't wait to be married, but it's so difficult being apart from you. I love you. I want to go through the rest of my life with you. It was so sweet.
And the handwriting was like impossible.
It was, but this letter, 104 years old, it was immaculate, perfect condition. So I looked up the recipient of the letter because I just wanted to see what may have happened, and I found their gravestone. So they did end up getting married and spent the rest of their lives together. I just cried because it was so sweet.
Yeah.
It was reading it and then knowing that they had a happy ending and they did eventually get married. And then I read more about this individual, Perry Kissick, who was just this, he just seemed like a really, really nice man. There was an article in the Tampa Times in 1985 when he was 90 about his life. So it was a really, really neat moment.
Yeah.
I thought someone's history, someone's life, just sitting here, $3 in an antique shop, in just this little basket. It's amazing how you really will be forgotten.
Yes, you will be forgotten.
One day.
But there are things that you do that will be remembered.
Right.
And like totally accidental. We're not related to this person.
No.
You found his letters in an antique store.
I just found one letter written by his girlfriend at the time who ended up.
You kind of revived his legacy just momentarily, and now we've shared it with them. So it's like
right. It was
you
really,
will live
really
on.
sweet. Yes.
Like your body will be reclaimed by the earth, and it will feed trees and squirrels.
This is a really sweet letter because another letter I picked up was written by a man who was stationed in Japan after World War II. The letter was written in 1948, I believe. And he was writing to a friend back home, and one of the things he said was, boy, you ought to see the girls here. They all look alike. Once you've seen one, you've seen them all.
For every good Perry Kissick, there is one of those, unfortunately.
So I looked up this guy, and his letter was it was so atrocious. He said in the letter he didn't graduate high school. It was full of spelling errors and grammatical errors. And so I looked up a little bit about him because I have a subscription to newspapers.com, so I can look up old email or old newspapers from all the way back from before the 1900s. It's been an amazing subscription so far. But so I looked him up, and what I could find, there was just legal notice after legal notice after legal notice. You owe us money in this county. You owe us money in this county. You owe us money in this county. So he was just not a very good individual. Tiara says, I'm a terrible messenger, and in the future my descendants will look back in horror at my partner's several sentence messages. Am I okay? Oh, no. They're just going to think, you were shy, but you had a lot of heart. Andrew says, you guys talking is soothing. Oh, thank you. That's good. I'm glad it's not the opposite.
Duffman2 earlier said, email archiving won't take off. I expect a lot of modern messages to disappear every time an email or message provider goes under. Well, I think the problem is like when you look...
AOL?
Yeah, when you look at letters, there's a physical component to it, and it's preservable. Like, it's handcrafted.
Right.
But an email, even though like the internet is written in ink, and we can preserve everything, there's just so much of it that eventually it's just going to become impossible to find.
Right.
It's like covered by the rubble of itself.
Yes. It's too oversaturated.
And it won't mean anything.
Duffman says they have NPR voices. I wish.
That would be great.
NPR is so... They always have really unique names.
Yes.
I'm John T. Liberto.
I'm Frank Grizzle.
Hello, I'm Lakshmi Singh reporting for BBC.
I'm Kai Rizdal. This is Marketplace.
I love NPR. I would make fun of them all the time just out of love. William Hacking says, without trying to sound too cynical, I want to say being remembered beyond your loved ones is overrated. I think it depends on the situation. There are definitely good figures that I think are good to be remembered, good for people to remember. But I don't necessarily need people who are just complete strangers to put me on a pedestal after my death. Yeah. We're just talking about these little glimpses in time that you get to see having happened years ago. I mean, this was 140 years ago. It's just, there's something really neat about it to know that even back then, they still got their happy ending. I don't know, it's sweet.
That is sweet.
Yeah.
We have Rocker Gamer 6 who says, it's Brian and Candace.
Oh my gosh. How
on?
are you guys?
We know them.
Well, yeah, we know them.
We hang.
We hang. Duffman says this week, a few scientific journals disappeared completely from the internet just because the archives weren't maintained due to funds.
That's unfortunate.
Oh my gosh, that is terrible.
Duffman, if you wouldn't mind, send me some information on that because I am curious of what was lost.
Wait, were they only preserved online? Because that's terrible.
That is terrible.
If there was no other way of preserving them other than online, that's
usually
awful.
Companies, whether they're archival or just corporations, will back up everything to tape.
Right.
And then they'll store tape in like a mountain.
Yeah.
So it's all preserved in like a secondary site.
That would be awful.
If this didn't happen at all, that's really bad. Like an archive, there's no excuse. Your job is to preserve.
Yeah, that's
you
really
should
bad.
never lose.
That's awful.
It's interesting. This is a future topic, but we're talking about the perseverance of like people and humanity. Playing a lot of Crusader Kings, as you know. And when I first started playing it, I was paying attention to like every person I was playing as, and like I'm really interested in this character and their heirs and setting things up. But like now I've played so much, it's like I can't tell you who I can't tell you who 75% of the people I've played as are.
Come here. Yeah.
What's he doing?
I just want to show him off. Come here. Come here. I want to show off his little scarf.
So even the great Crusader Kings are forgettable.
Look at this cute little scarf. Look at him. We call him a little cowboy now.
He's a little cowboy. He needs a hat.
Yeah, he does need a little hat. Oh, TR says he's long. He's very long.
He's the longest.
Look at this. He's like an otter.
He is.
He's like Joey.
He's like baby Joey.
He's like baby Joey. He's such a long dog, I know.
Luna's looking very like, why can't I be shown off? Come here, Luna.
No, she can't. She can't. You forgot to take off her collar.
Oh, I'll take it off. I'll take it off. Come here, you goof. Come here, you goofy baby.
We can't show her collar because her collar has identifying information on it.
Come here.
It's actually on our list. The first note is take off Luna's collar.
Come here, sweetie. Sit down.
Tiara says he's like a toy. He is very much like a toy. He's like a wind-up toy.
Good girl.
Oh my gosh, this dog is hyperactive. Okay, but that's what else is on the next.
So the last bit of news, which I had not heard about until I saw this list. Adam Sandler, Hubie Halloween punishment for no Oscar for Uncut Gems October 3.
You don't remember this?
No.
You don't remember? Okay, Adam Sandler said if he didn't win the Oscar for Uncut Gems, which was a fantastic movie that was on Netflix, if he didn't win the Oscar for Uncut Gems, he swore he would make the worst movie of all time.
Adam Sandler said this?
Yes.
Like, seriously?
Yes.
I mean, he's
This
always
was
been
his
known
thing.
to, like,
He
make
said,
vacation movies.
if I get snubbed at the Oscars, I'm going to make the worst movie ever.
Okay.
And now the worst movie ever has been decided. It's called Hubie's Halloween.
Hubie's Halloween. Is there a trailer?
No.
Okay.
There's only a photo. If you look up a photo, it's Hubie Halloween or it's Hubie Halloween. Duffin says he does that every year.
I was going to say, worst movie for Adam Sandler is kind of just like, I woke up and had coffee this morning.
Yeah, but this was in retaliation of knocking an Oscar.
There is a trailer.
There is?
It's coming to Netflix. Yeah.
Okay, I wish we could like show it.
Well, I'll just pull up the poster.
We can at least pull up the poster. Okay, Pyle says there's a trailer. Okay, someone please post the trailer in the Discord.
I hate that like you can't make images bigger.
Duffman says he makes
What
garbage
year is
every
it?
year and millions watch it. Look at Jack and Jill. I don't know why, because Adam Sandler is a fantastic actor.
He's a
if you've
great
ever
actor.
seen him, he was great in Uncut Gems.
Mm-hmm.
He was fantastic in Uncut Gems. He was wonderful in this movie called Punch Drunk Love. Absolutely phenomenal. But those are the only roles I've ever seen him in when he's been good. Yeah.
You know,
that's it.
honestly, just based on like, I'm going to show you a really bad picture.
It's such a bad quality picture, though.
Well, that's because Google doesn't like to do the large picture anymore.
Yeah,
I don't know.
why. I don't know why they don't.
Is it
do
just
that.
me, or did Google image search used to be way better?
Oh,
Like way better.
Andrew says if you save the photo, you may be able to zoom in on it. I
I'm
don't
not
know.
gonna save Hubie Halloween though, Andrew.
He doesn't want to save it.
I can't. I mean, like, if I save it now, it's like it exists on my device in a permanent way.
But
Persistent,
so
like an archive.
this is what I've heard. He's making this movie because he was upset he didn't get the Oscar for Uncut Gems.
This doesn't even look bad though.
I don't know.
I've seen Adam
He said
Sandler's
it's
bad.
going to be
This does
bad.
not look bad.
Tiara said,
looks
if you
kinda
want to
fun.
see something dumb and depressing, look up Rotten Tomatoes 100 Best Movies Ever. Toy Story 4 is the 4th best film.
No.
Oh my gosh,
Hold
that's
on.
ridiculous.
Where is this? Is this recent?
Noble Willis asked if I've ever had a hard time recommending Punch Drunk Love to a friend. No, but here, you'll look up that list. I'll tell you a quick story.
Oh my god.
I recommended Punch Drunk Love to a friend, and I completely forgot about the scene where he calls the adult phone operator. And it was so awkward watching that with my friend. Like, oh, wait, it's almost over. It got worse.
It keeps going.
It keeps going.
It
Like, oh my
keeps going.
gosh. That's the worst experience I had because I forgot, and it was just awkward.
Yeah, but everything after that's great.
Yeah, everything after that is fine.
You don't even want to hear this list. This list
What are
is
the top
legit
5? Let's
upset-
go after the top 5.
This is the most upsetting part. Black Panther is the #1 movie
Of all time?
of all time,
Wow.
followed by Avengers Endgame, followed by Us, followed by Toy Story 4. And the number 5 is Wizard of Oz, which has a fifth of the votes of the movies above it.
That's crazy.
That's embarrassing.
I just don't know. Okay, but I don't listen to Rotten Tomatoes. In fact, I think Rotten Tomatoes is just
The worst.
the worst. Noble says, I showed it to my friends and family. They all said they felt uncomfortable. Added to that, my dad got angry. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, Noble. I would never, ever recommend that film to my family.
It's not a family movie.
That's not a family. I would recommend that film now to my adult brother, but I would never recommend it to my parents, ever. That is just off limits. I never would. Oh, I'm sorry you had that experience. It's terrible. Yeah, TR says I told you. That was a really bad list.
This list is the most perplexing thing.
But I don't... Rotten
Number 8.
Tomatoes...
So number 8 is Citizen Kane, and it has 100% with 92 votes. But number 1 is Black Panther with 96%, 510 votes.
I don't really understand.
How is 100% not at the top?
I just feel like best
ranks
film
this?
of all time is such an subjective award to give anyways. It's like you can't, one person liking one thing is not going to like another.
It's kind of wild because you don't hear about the best painting of all time.
Right.
Like, no one cares.
Yeah.
You don't hear about the best song of all time.
Right.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
But like movies and games, it's like Ocarina of Time, best game of all time. Citizen
Everyone
Kane,
says
best movie.
Rotten Tomatoes is rotten. That's pretty
That
much
is
it.
accurate.
That's pretty much it. Xavier Sword says, sounds like Gallows and Anderson, the wrestlers, booked a wrestling show that was booked at the worst PPV ever.
Pay-per-view.
Oh. Wait, what happened?
I don't know. But it sounds like when Gallows and Anderson, they're wrestlers, booked a wrestling show that was booked at
That
the
was in
worst
reference
pay-per-view
to something, though. We missed it. Rez says, we are all uncultured Philistines now. Hey, Rez, don't include us in that group. We actually watched a great movie. Let's go ahead and talk about the movie.
That's next on the list.
That Tiara
Get it.
mentioned to us. So, every Sunday, if you guys don't know, we watch classic movies in the server together, and we have had some really crazy ones before. But this was a one called They Shoot Horses, Don't They? And it is a 1978 film, or no, it was 1971.
I'll tell you.
It wasn't 78. I think it was 71. And so Tiara mentioned this film. I'd never seen it before. It has Jane Fonda. 1969. Yep. And I wasn't at all expecting this movie to... Okay, first...
Tell them the premise before you tell them what it is.
I was told this movie was about a dance marathon.
Which sounds like Footloose.
Yes, I was expecting it to be Footloose. It was Footloose if Footloose was...
About feet that were actually loose from their bodies.
If Footloose was kindergarten school, They Shoot Horses, Don't They? Was grad school in your last semester when you're on the verge of failing. It was just so intense. It was so insanely intense. William Hacking says, is anyone allowed in this phone club? Yes, William. I'm going to send you and Anya the link for our Discord server so that you can join, because I know you guys, and I'm sorry, but I have to be very discretionary because I don't want it to be open for everyone, but I know you guys. But this movie was fantastic.
It was.
And I would have never known this movie had Tiara not mentioned it and recommended it. I went through my letterbox. Mm-hmm.
I've seen like 3,000 movies.
Wow.
Or like some
That's
absurd
crazy.
in the thousands number. Maybe it's 2,000. I don't remember. It's over 1,000.
Yeah.
Never heard of this in my
No.
life.
I've never heard of it.
I heard of the movie that Jane Fonda did right before this one,
Right.
which was Barbarella, which is just like a, girl in space wearing a bikini movie.
Yeah.
Knew that was Jane Fonda. Never knew that she was like this insanely talented actress.
Right.
Yeah.
The movie is set in the Great Depression, set in the 1920s, and it's about this dance marathon, but they used to have these really crazy dance competitions that
Yes.
would go on for days.
For weeks.
Days and days and days, weeks, months. Just hours at a time. And these dance competitions were so intense and dangerous. So the movie is set in that setting, and it's so fantastic. So if you want a good movie, go watch They Shoot Horses, Don't They? The full movie is actually on YouTube, so you don't have to rent it. You have no excuse not to be able to find it now because
It's
it is
phenomenal.
uploaded there.
I would
Noble
easily
says,
say,
mind
like-
if I join the Discord? Okay, how about you just post a link? Just post a link.
I'll post a link.
Post a link.
Everyone seems to be well behaved tonight.
Everyone
so.
seems well behaved, but if there are any weirdos, you will get kicked out immediately. And 9 out of 10 people are a mod, so don't mess with them.
All right, I'm posting a link for everyone who's interested.
Yes.
Don't be weird. That's all we ask.
Oh, Kyle says 1935. Maybe that's when it was. Okay, Starkara, don't you dare. Rogwell says, hey, I'm
don't.
new. Where's the NSFF? Yeah, don't, because Pyle's like my right hand, and he knows exactly what I would and would not approve of, and he's a very strict
His
mod.
justice is
Yeah,
swift.
he says, do not mess with me.
Very swift.
A toast.
A toast to messing with the pile.
But that was a fantastic movie. What other movie did we watch? I don't think we watched any movies, but we watched a show
We watched a show.
that's Tiara also recommended we watch, called Raised by Wolves on HBO Max, and that show
is amazing.
is so good. I can't remember the last time
Watchmen.
I got possibly Watchmen, but not even to this extent.
This might be
because
better.
This is an original story.
Yes.
The concept is so great, but the setting is so unique. So it is a sci-fi movie, but it's unlike any sci-fi movie I've ever seen before. And I remember when we were talking about whether or not it was religious. It is 100% religious.
Yes.
It's so
I need
good,
to be
though.
like validated because I remember on the
Yes,
stream
I
I'm like
remember.
they said no, we're atheists, and everyone's
Yeah.
like they wouldn't say that in a show. I'm like no, it's literally like multiple
Yeah.
times first episode.
No, it's
we're
so
atheists.
good. I'm so. Rez says Raised by Wolves was messed up. Oh, you didn't like it? Because I love it.
Well, maybe
It's
he's saying
not-
like it's messed up in a good way. Like that's messed up.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think he means it was messed up. He didn't like
He says,
it.
where the heck did this super android chick get all these
Oh, okay.
people exploding flying powers?
Wait, don't spoil it!
Well, I mean, you see it. You
Tiara says Ridley Scott is only co-directing. He directs the first 2 episodes and the final 2 episodes. Oh.
but it's phenomenal.
It is really
It
good.
feels.
It's
It
just
feels like
so
a Ridley
good.
Scott
Yes.
movie
I-
because it's very visually unique.
Right.
It plays into a lot of other things that are done well. Like I'd say there's a little bit of Terminator in there. We've heard there's a little bit of Battlestar Galactica
Yeah.
in there. There's a little bit of Homeworld in
Yeah.
there. Like it's picking from a lot of good things.
Right.
And it mashes it up so well.
Starcar says messed up means disturbing. That's how I've always read it.
I mean, I like this is messed up, man.
No.
See, in skater culture, because I'm a skater, I skateboard. Messed
Rog-
up means like that's the gnarliest thing you've ever seen shredding tin on that
Messed up
pipe.
always means it's a bad thing. Rogwell says, you guys been watching season 2 of The Boys yet? Yes,
That's
we
next on the
have.
list.
So if you've seen The Boys, who's your favorite character? I'll just go ahead and say mine. I love Butcher.
Yeah.
Butcher is my favorite character ever. He's so ridiculously, he's such a loose cannon, but I love him so much. Who's your favorite?
I have to read
What?
Andrew's comment. He says, Flex, have you ever collected the tapes in SKATE? Everywhere I go, I'm looking for that hidden tape, and these letters are just scattered. Anyway.
I know the hidden tapes.
My favorite character, can I have two?
Yeah.
Because I have like a favorite character who I like, but then I also have a favorite character because I'm just like, this guy is very well done.
Yes, yes.
So
you can have,
my
yes.
favorite character is Frenchie.
Yeah.
I love Frenchie.
I love Frenchie.
Like, I
Yeah,
feel like
know.
Frenchie and I would be best friends in real life.
I love Frenchie.
Frenchie is my favorite kind of person.
Why?
Just like nice.
Because of that psycho.
Yeah, I mean, I see a little bit of myself in Frenchie in a way, but also, like, that's the kind of personality and attitude I love. Forgiving, sees the best in people, is willing to, like, do whatever he can to make things better for everybody. Like, a good,
I love Frenchie.
great
Frenchie's
character.
great.
But my favorite character is Homelander.
Yes, I knew you were going to say that.
The absolute opposite of Frenchie.
Homelander is such a ridiculous supervillain that you have to like him.
Yes.
He's so annoyingly likable and funny.
The milk.
That actor is incredible.
He is incredible.
I absolutely love the actor. But the thing about Homelander that is so great, he is such a villain. He's such a bad guy. But you love seeing him on screen. You love the scenes with Homelander because he's so unnerving and just really, really good to watch. So I love that. Rogville says, tough question. Mother's Milk is a bro. I love Mother's Milk as well. I think him and Frenchie.
It's a toss-up.
Right, it is.
Because they're both very, like, humanitarian in a different way.
Yes, the boys' crew is all great except for Huey.
Huey's terrible.
I can't stand Huey. So I learned that Huey is actually the son of Meg Ryan and Dennis Quaid.
Which makes so much sense.
And now when you watch it, you can't not see it.
You see the Quaid everywhere.
You see Dennis Quaid everywhere.
Quaid, no matter where you look.
Huey's just awful. He's so awful. Rez says, I love Stormfront because she's a disgustingly evil racist, but also delightfully sarcastic foil to Homelander. Yeah, I was not at all expecting.
It's kind of a spoiler. If you hadn't seen it.
That is a spoiler.
Yeah.
But that wasn't my fault. Rez said it.
Stormfront is a very interesting character, and I'm excited to see what happens
Okay,
with her.
her name is Stormfront.
Yes, but I didn't know what that was
Her
until you
name is
told me.
Stormfront.
I've
Everyone
never
knows
heard that
what
before.
That is.
Not
Okay,
me.
Rez and I are not going to take. We're not going to take responsibility for this. I read the comments. He said it.
This is not the first time major plot points have been spoiled in this podcast.
When I said Superman killed someone?
What?
Bishop said Homelander will be the hero of the season. Yeah, right. Homelander wishes. Yeah, okay, I spoiled Batman vs. Superman twice.
Which is old now, so it doesn't matter. We can talk about it
old.
now. We can talk about it now.
I spoiled it.
You
I said...
You just like straight up spoiled it.
Yeah, I did.
It was funny too.
Okay. Tiara says she has the Nazi eagle as her belt. Okay.
Really? I didn't know. I haven't noticed that. I did not notice that.
Twisted Bishop says that haircut says you knew all about Stormfront.
Yeah, but see the thing. So this is not a spoiler. Like you see her in the first episode, she's very like.
Well, let's not talk about it because there's some people who haven't even seen the first season.
Okay.
We're just going to say they've done a great job with the characters.
I love all the characters.
They've taken them in really good direction. Even the ones who are bad guys.
The Deep.
Are still right. They're still enjoyable to watch. There's only one person on the show who is boring, and that unfortunately happens to be
the protagonist.
The protagonist.
Yeah.
Who is so bland. I don't know why they made him so boring. It's so weird.
We were playing Halo with Weeb and Michael earlier, and we talked about Scott Pilgrim. I feel the same exact way about that movie. Because I have the entirety of Scott Pilgrim in comic form. I love that comic. I love that movie. But Michael Cera is the absolute worst pick for Scott Pilgrim.
Michael Cera is just, oh my god.
Huey's the same way. Because like I read the first volume of The Boys. He is not like that in the comic. Like
so they just made him
he's
like
reserved, but he's not annoyingly reserved.
Right.
Like I compare it to Shinji in your favorite anime, Neon Genesis Evangelion. Shinji has reasons not to get in the mech.
Yeah.
They've never given Huey a reason to be the kind of like just that he is.
Yeah, that's the
very
thing.
annoying.
It's just he just doesn't seem well written. It's very weird. Duffman says it's the difficulty of making your protagonist relatable for the audience. Yeah, I don't know if that's what they were trying to go for, making him the common man, the straight character, but he's so bland and boring, and with all these colorful characters, it just gets overshadowed. So I don't know.
Twisted Bishop
This
says
doesn't work.
Michael Cera is the worst choice for the gift of life.
That's mean.
That's the harshest
What if
burn
Michael Cera-
I've ever heard in my life.
Right. I can't agree with that because what if Michael Cera is watching this one day?
That's sad. That's sad.
But that's The Boys. So
That's The
yes, we
Boys.
have been watching season 2. It's really fun. I really enjoy it. I was actually wanting to. Oh shoot! What was it? I remembered a show that I thought would be fun for all of us to watch together.
We watched Beastars together, and that was a
We
blast.
watched Beastars together.
That was
on the
that
server.
started off as a joke.
Yeah, it started off as a joke because
We wanted to force people to watch a furry anime with us, which we
Right.
thought would just be funny.
I saw this ridiculous screenshot from it.
And it turns
But
out it's like the
it was
best
so
show ever.
good. Yeah, it was like really enjoyable.
It really was.
So that was fun.
I cannot wait for that next season.
Yeah. Okay, Tara says I love V-Stars. Yes, it's so much better than what you'd think it was going to be.
Andrew
there was
says-
so much depth to the characters.
Andrew says, watch Beast Wars together.
Wow,
And Andrew and me
yeah.
are like, we're like soul brothers
Beast
from a
Wars.
different generation.
Anya says V-Stars is so good. I'm so glad everyone loved it then. Okay,
Yes.
so yeah, we just objectively liked it. I thought it was such a great show. The music was phenomenal.
The animation
The
was
soundtrack
tremendous.
was great. Oh my gosh, the fight scenes, the main characters. Who is the deer? I forget his name.
Louis.
Louis, yes. Louis was so well written.
Yeah.
Louis' backstory was so intense.
I know.
Just so good. I love Beastars, not even as a joke. I just thought it was such a great show.
Oh, another thing I didn't put on the list, but Weeb has reminded me about multiple times now. There's a Dragon's Dogma anime coming to Netflix. Like, what the heck? I don't think you know what Dragon's Dogma is.
No.
It's a really cool game that I love. I know Weeb loves it, and very few other people have played it. But they made it into an anime, like Castlevania
Well, they
style.
did. Yeah, I was going to say they did that with Castlevania.
But Castlevania
too.
has like a following, and this game is like obscure.
That's weird. So maybe we could watch that then.
Yeah. There's another one. I don't know what it's called. Pile and Weeb, you probably know. I think it's 8 episodes, like Beastars, but it's like a lizard guy. It's like Violent Lizard Man. What's that one called? Is that if you've seen it? Is it good? Is it something we should watch as a
So
group?
we have some choices. We have some choices then to watch as a group. But we should do that again because that was really fun.
Yeah, that was really fun.
That was good.
So you've also been watching The Crown.
I've been watching The Crown, and last week I said The Crown was a little boring. So I have to take that back because now I'm thoroughly invested in the life of the Queen and the Queen Mother and Princess Margaret and Peter Townsend.
You know what I found out?
What?
When we were having some Netflix issues because I share an account with my parents and my brother, and you were having trouble watching it last night. So I thought maybe someone had access to our account.
Right.
So I went into our Netflix profiles and started checking just the active profiles. Like,
Yeah.
is there anything on here that we wouldn't watch? Like something,
Right.
Real Housewives of Madrid showing up in there. And my mom has seen all of The Crown. So
Wow.
now you guys can.
Now we can talk about it. I love The Crown though. And Andrew says, "What season are you?" I'm only on season 2, but it's been so enjoyable, and I didn't realize Queen Elizabeth had such a crazy life, and Princess Margaret, her sister. It was so sad what they did to her. But yeah, I'm really enjoying The Crown, and I understand why people have always said it's really good. So I'm glad I finally took a look at it because I really do like it. Anya says, one anime I highly recommend not watching is Persona 5, the animation. Just play the game, you'll get more entertainment. Yeah, I don't know anything about the Persona games.
They're really good.
I know that they're really popular.
I've only finished the one about pop stars on the Switch.
Yeah.
But if they brought Persona 4 or 5 to the Switch, I'd beat them. The problem is like, it's really hard to play on a console where you have to turn it off and load it up. But like in a handheld mode, they're great.
Wow.
They're like the perfect difficulty
Yeah.
of RPG because you have to think instead of just like attack, spell.
Right.
Like it's really tactical RPG.
Okay,
They're
well
good.
now you know not to watch the anime.
I would never because I
Not
haven't played the
worth
games, unfortunately.
it. Tiara says, I love The Crown. Watch Victoria. I will. I didn't even know there was a Victoria. Is that a show or a movie? I'm going to watch it because you and I have been on the same wavelength about everything so far. She's seen all the same stuff I have. We agree.
Yeah.
The things she's recommended.
Tiara has a good taste.
I know.
Yeah.
This is how I know when people sort of like, I mesh up with
gel.
your interests. Right. Like when you recommend something, So I'll definitely check that out, Victoria, because yeah, The Crown has been fantastic. I loved it. William Hacking says this is why you should get a Vita, the perfect Persona 4 machine.
I would love a Vita, actually.
The
I feel
Vita.
like I would. Yeah, the PlayStation Vita. It was the sequel to the PSP, which was like the best handheld.
Yeah,
I stand
I know
by.
the PSP
The
was
PSP
ahead of
was
its time.
so good. I should get a Vita before they become hard to find.
Yeah,
like, just
you
go find like a
should.
used one at a secondhand game store.
Right.
and hack
Before
it.
they are out of circulation.
Yeah.
Andrew said Flex and I will watch Beast Wars. You and Tiara will watch Victoria Sorted. That's perfect.
It's a date. Let's get it. Beast Wars. Man,
That's perfect.
did you watch Beast Wars?
No.
So you never saw? Oh my gosh, it was Transformers, but they go to like a primal world. So Megatron is a T-Rex, and Optimus is a gorilla.
Whoa.
It's great. It's fantastic. I watched more Beast Wars than I
That
watched
sounds
Transformers.
ridiculous.
Well, they would like go from beast mode and then they break in half and turn into like robot mode. So good. So
Okay,
good.
so you guys will watch that.
And it was like that remember the Donkey Kong show? With the really bad
Oh,
3D
yeah,
animation?
yeah, I remember.
It was that kind of animation.
That was
so
so
you like
weird.
it's good. That reboot.
That was a really weird show.
Good stuff.
Rockbull says Dinobot for life.
Dinobot, yes. Oh, it's so good. I love it.
Dinobot.
Okay, so the big announcements this week. The big news.
What, the Dune trailer?
The Dune trailer. Let's talk about Dune.
Let's talk about Dune because from what I could read in the chat yesterday, or the day before, people were really upset about it. So I don't know what Dune is, and I watched the trailer, and I thought it looked fine because I don't know anything. I don't know what the expectation should be. The only thing I thought was I didn't like the song.
Which is funny because that's the only thing
I
I
had
liked.
no idea.
Because it's the ending to Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd.
Yeah, see, I didn't know that. I just thought,
And
oh my gosh, what is this song?
It's the only time. So usually in these trailers, they always take a song and they slow it down and they
Yeah.
have like Sheryl Crow sing a slower version of
Oh my
Kiss
gosh,
by a
thank
Rose.
you. Tiara says the song was some Lion King crowd.
No, Tiara,
Okay,
quit gelling
I'm
with
gonna
her.
toast-
Me and Andrew
I'm
are
gonna
gonna
toast
toast
that.
to
No, I-
Dark Side of the
I
Moon,
toast Tiara's
the ending
comment.
song.
Thank you.
At
Yes.
least, well, this is the one time they actually slowed down a song in a trailer, and it was the original song, as opposed to like redoing it and like we're gonna do Nirvana's
Wait, we're
Lithium,
gonna
but
do
slow.
Mad World again.
Yeah, we're gonna do it even slower this time, man. It's gonna be so slow. You're gonna be like,
Oh
I
my
know this
gosh,
song, but
no.
it's so freaking slow.
Yeah, I don't know what everyone disliked about this trailer though.
Well,
Because
I think
I didn't know what to. I didn't know what was going on. I just thought this kid is living in this sand world, and there's people that are trying to kill him,
Sand World.
and he's their savior somehow because he was giving forgiveness to Aquaman.
Yes.
That's all.
Tell me
I
that
got.
trailer didn't look like Aquaman.
That's all I got.
Like that could have been an Aquaman movie.
I don't even know what was going on
Okay.
though. I didn't know. I didn't understand.
So here's my
So
problem
I
with
was
it.
I didn't know what to think of it.
I've never read Dune.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to. I think I'm actually going to take on the challenge. It's supposed to be a hard book to read.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the challenge and read Dune. I've seen the David Lynch movie. I love David Lynch. I consider Dune to be one of his weakest films. But as a Dune movie, now that I know the story and like know what it is, it's
Right.
a pretty cool movie. Imagine Star Wars, but way, way weirder. And without like the kind of storytelling that's easy for audiences to understand. So like we're just gonna show it's almost like playing Crusader Kings. Like
Right.
there's a lot going on that you have to just pay attention to, and the movie expects you to keep up with it. And it's a fun movie to watch. In fact, it's on Hulu streaming. We might want to do
Emerald
a
says
movie night.
Dune movie night.
Yeah.
Emerald says Dune movie night.
It's streamed. We could do
so
a Dune
let's
movie
do
night.
it. Why
Yeah.
not? That'll be perfect. What year was it?
So it's 89, 84. But the interesting thing about it
we
was
should just do it for our classic movie on Sunday.
yeah, I think we
Let's just
should.
do Dune.
Yeah,
That'd
it's
be
a
good.
very. I mean, it's got Police. The lead singer of Police, Sting, is in it. He plays a really disgusting person, which is weird because he's a very pretty
As
person
I will
in real
watch
life.
this, but I will never watch Eraserhead. I don't need to see some weird baby in a bassinet with guts coming out.
That movie is so good.
I just think that guy is such a weirdo.
I love him.
But
I love
let's
that
watch
guy.
Dune on Sunday. That'll
So
be fun.
the secret hit. We need to also. I need to watch this documentary. It's called Jordowski's Dune
Mm-hmm.
because this very prolific. I believe he's Spanish from Spain. Film director Jordowski was going to make Dune with Salvador Dali in the 70s. And
Yeah.
it was one of the most expensive movies to ever not be made. but they have all this art and all this amazing stuff that Dahlia created.
Right.
And they ended up not doing it. And the studios were sitting on this idea after they canceled it. They were like, we'll just give it to David Lynch because he made Eraserhead.
Wow. Salvador Dali is really weird.
Yes.
Ever since we listened to this podcast about George Hodel, who was most likely the man who killed Elizabeth Short, who was better known as the Black Dahlia.
Yes.
Everything I've learned about surrealist art, I have just been so adverse to. And knowing that Salvador Dali ran in the same circles as Ray Mann, who was a big surrealist artist, and knowing... Man Ray.
Ray Mann is a disembodied platformer.
Yes. So I have just felt so adverse to anything regarding surrealism. I don't know what to feel about Salvador Dali. I don't know how much involvement he had, but they believed some really weird things. There was a lot of violence against women is a huge theme in surrealist art because they feel like it's a very artistic thing to look at. So I don't like Salvador Dali at this moment. I have to do more research.
Well, tell them about the David Lynch thing, too, because that's interesting.
And David Lynch apparently saw proof of... So there is this... If you guys don't know, the Black Dahlia was this horrific murder that happened.
It's incredibly disturbing.
Very, very disturbing. I would not read about it, but I'm just going to give you a version. But she was killed, and David Lynch, years later, was at a dinner with an individual.
Because David Lynch is a surrealist filmmaker.
Yes. And he was at dinner with this individual who opened up his briefcase and said, I'm going to show you something. And he opened it up.
The pictures.
He showed him the photos of someone that had taken them. The person who killed her had to have taken those photos.
Yes.
So David Lynch, I don't know why he wouldn't say anything about it.
Well,
he only mentioned this years later.
Well, yeah, because he didn't even know what it was.
He didn't know what it was.
Like, he thought it was like art.
Yeah.
Like, he thought it was some weird, like, painting or
so I don't know. David
model.
Lynch, all the surrealist artists are so bizarre.
I agree, but I think David Lynch gets a pass because he's very concerned about the well-being of people.
Yes,
like,
as you
everything
can see,
he does,
right,
he's
theme,
always concerned about people.
I know the theme in Twin Peaks was basically that, and
yes.
a lot. I don't know if
because
that
like Laura Palmer is Elizabeth Short.
Right.
Yes.
I don't know if that's a response to what he saw.
I feel like it is.
But I don't know. I don't trust surrealists. Ansel says this sounds fake. No, it's real.
This is
Go look at it.
real.
Go look it up. There is this podcast called The Root of Evil. They go into all of this. I would look it up if I were you. Or if you're interested in it. Rockwell says, the only thing I don't like is that they made the mom a warrior nun in race gender bent Leant Keynes. Otherwise, looking forward to the Dune movie.
So, I don't know if they change stuff. I actually don't. I want them to change more. In fact, the thing that disappointed me the most about the trailer was when I watched it, it felt like I was watching a WB version of the Lynch movie. Like, shot for shot, there were scenes in that trailer that match up with what David Lynch did, but his was far more artistic and interesting to look at.
Right.
So I'm like, well, this is just less cheesy and more WB. Like, it looks like a Snyder movie. It doesn't look like a Villanova movie.
Yeah.
And, it, like, especially after Blade Runner.
Yeah,
I'm
but
like,
what does a
visually, this is
Villanova
just
movie look like? Plus,
Arrival,
we
Blade
can't
Runner,
really
Prisoners,
judge
Sicario.
the movie based on the trailer.
I
you know
totally
those
agree.
trailers are cut by totally different studios, so they may not be showcasing it the way that the director wants.
I totally agree. And I still want to see, I will absolutely watch it. But to me, I found it to be way less than what I was expecting.
Right.
Like, it just, I was like,
You're just
this
disappointed.
is it?
I mean, it seems like everyone who saw the first movie or read the book has been disappointed by it, so they clearly did do something right.
Yeah.
Rez says Flex nailed it. That was my impression as well. So, yeah. Defin says Dennis Villeneuve films have a very distinctive look, and
Yes.
Felix says it's Villeneuve, so I expect it to be very pretty. See, I am so unaware of directors' touches on movies that I don't pick up on things
It's
like
like a
that.
stamp.
I don't pick up on things like that at all.
Yeah.
That's just not something I'm able to do.
Well,
Some people are. I'm definitely not.
In a lot
I
of
would
ways,
never be able to see a clip and say, "Oh yeah, that's Villeneuve."
Villeneuve. Denis.
I
It's
would never
weird.
know that.
Well, the thing is
Some people can know that. That's neat, though.
But I think it's also a little unfair because a director is one person amongst 1,000.
Yeah,
in a movie.
that's true.
Like, we was mentioning that Roger Deakins, who is this the cinematographer, isn't on Dune, which is probably part of the problem. Is like
Right.
Denis has worked with Roger Deakins on everything, and that's where that look and that like camera style comes
Yeah.
from. It's not there anymore, and you can just
So
you
maybe
can
that's
see
the
it in the trailer.
reason. That could be the reason. Oh, Tiara says Villeneuve. Okay.
Yeah.
Villeneuve.
I thought it was Villeneuve.
I'm going to trust her judgment.
Tiara seems to know way more than I do, so let's
She
just go
seems
with
like
it.
she would know.
Also, I love Resvigram says Snyder
Equals
music video slow motion montages, and I love it. I actually love Zack Snyder's style. It's bad, but like so Michael Bay is another one, right? Like
Yeah,
Michael Bay invented Bayham, and if you
The
look at his
explosions.
there is a flavor to Michael Bay's movies that is somewhat enjoyable if you go with the right mindset. And I would say the same thing about Snyder.
Yeah, Anya says, never trust trailers since they are designed and created by marketing company to try and grab mass appeal. Yes,
Absolutely.
Exactly.
They want to
That's
market to the
why I
widest
wouldn't-
audience possible.
Right. Noble says, then again, didn't he work with Jenkins on Arrival? Oh, I loved Arrival. Arrival was so good.
Yeah, Villeneuve.
That was a great movie.
Villeneuve?
Yeah.
Denis?
Arrival was great. Denis?
Denis?
Villeneuve. Yeah, Arrival was wonderful.
And Prisoners.
I haven't seen Prisoners yet.
Yes, you have.
My dad loves Prisoners.
You've
oh,
seen
wait,
Prisoners?
yeah, no, I've seen Prisoners.
I was going to say, you love
Prisoners
Prisoners.
was great. Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah.
Paul Dano is fantastic.
So is Jake
I feel
Gyllenhaal.
like Paul Dano
So is Hugh
is
Jackman.
what Michael Cera wants to be.
Yes, absolutely.
Michael Cera wants to be Paul Dano. But
Absolutely.
He's not. Oh, so good. Yeah, okay, but that's it. Sweet JP says Pacific Rim Uprising trailer was dead accurate.
Andrew is like my spirit mind. He said Terminator 4 Salvation had a great trailer. That 9 Inch Nails. I remember my brother and me sitting in the theater. We hear like the day the whole world went away, and then you see Christian Bale standing over a T-800
Yeah, but that was
and like
such a
popping
bad
it in the
movie.
brain. That trailer was great though. That trailer made it look like this is gonna be the most
trailer might be
artistic,
good, but it
amazing
was-
Terminator
no.
movie ever.
Yeah. Raz says Terminator Salvation was still worlds better than everything that came after it. Oh my
Hard
gosh.
agree.
Whew.
Hard agree.
Talk about what happened to Terminator.
Yeah.
What happened? I didn't even see the last movie. It might be good. I don't know.
I heard it was actually better than Genesis.
It was okay.
I'd
'cause,
watch it. I've seen them
Oh my gosh,
all.
it's so. They have done so much with that. Remember when Khaleesi was in Terminator?
But the thing is like I went and rewatched because I love the first two Terminators. I love those movies.
Yeah.
I rewatched Terminator 1 and 2 after that, and I think she was a good pick. She looks like young Linda Hamilton.
Yeah, she does. She looks exactly.
So it was like a good facial pick.
Right.
And maybe I think she's a good actress too. It could have just been bad direction.
Yeah,
Like,
maybe.
to be fair.
I don't know. It's a little weird. Tiara says, you know what? I actually really like the Sarah Connor Chronicles. I never saw those.
Oh, those are. I watched some of them.
I never saw
They're
those.
actually pretty good.
She's an
Cersei
interesting character.
plays Sarah
Oh,
Connor in
really?
that,
That's
yeah.
funny. I really like that actress.
Yeah.
She's great. What's next on
Oh,
the list?
Andrew. Man, Andrew just calling it out. He's Terminator 2 3D ride was the best Terminator. Don't at me. Everyone at him. He's so right. Andrew knows what's up. When the little tiny hunter killers show up and they're like doing the little thing.
creepy.
And then Arnold grabs it and he's like, awesome. Man. It's
That's
so good.
crazy. Oh, Tiara says I like Prometheus. I like Prometheus too.
I did too.
Wasn't the
I
first
hated
one-
Alien Covenant, but Prometheus
With
is
the
great.
second one, I loved Prometheus. I thought Prometheus was great. I didn't like the second one though. I thought it got really weird, but I really loved Prometheus.
Yes.
The first one, I thought it was great. It was a really well done movie. Rez says, I love the Sarah Connor Chronicles, but it suffered the summer glow curse. Everything since she was in got canceled. Who's Summer Glow? I don't even know.
She
who
was
that is.
from
Or
Firefly.
Summer Glow. Oh wow.
Yeah, and she plays a Terminator in that show. She's like a young
yeah.
hybrid Terminator thing.
Tiara says, I'm cloned from cells taken from Kite Tails fans. That's fantastic then. If you're like the amalgamation of everybody that, I've ever gotten along with, I'm going to accept that because you're a really nice person. I like you.
Rocker Gamer says that he hates Prometheus. Rocker Gamer, question for you. What is worse, Prometheus
Or Covenant?
or Covenant or Alien Revelation? Just, I want to know. Inquiring minds need to know.
All right, yeah, answer that. Dayon Lily says, "Hey, Kite, Flex, and chat. I've always watched the stream replay, but I finally caught one live. Hope everyone's good. Hi, Dion or Lily. What do you like to go by? I'll call you whatever you prefer. That's awesome. Thanks so much for joining live. That's super exciting.
To the live show.
Yeah, it's cool to join live because
Yes.
I get to interact with you because I don't know who watches the replays. I'll respond to comments when they're there, but it's always good to talk to people." Michael C says, "Covenant was funny to me. Almost seemed like I missed his comment."
I got it.
Michael C.
Michael C. Hold on.
He says Covenant
there's
was
a lot
funny.
of comments.
Covenant? Okay, Rez says, "I thought Covenant was a hilarious comedy."
Yeah, Michael C. says Covenant was funny to me. Almost seemed like a parody in how cliche it was.
Okay.
That's so true,
Covenant
though.
was so bad when they killed off the guy that they were advertising in the trailer within the first 30 seconds.
Yeah.
James Franco dies.
Yes.
And-
He was like dead when the movie started.
What has James Franco been in recently?
He did that Room movie.
Because he's really good.
I
He
love
really
James Franco.
blossomed
Yeah.
since the son of Norman.
Harry Osborn.
He's blossomed from that. Okay, Dion. Okay, hi, Dion.
Back to
Thanks so much for your
formula.
comment. Yeah, glad to have you here. Drew Rogers says, "It's hard to like any of the newer aliens. They're also bad." Drew, yes, they are so bad, which is why, if you didn't hear us earlier say this, but Raised by Wolves, you have to go watch that because I think it will really fit that that missing aliens.
It feels like what Prometheus should have been.
It does. It feels like it's exactly in that universe. So you definitely have to watch that if you are missing alien movies or you just want something good. I can't recommend it enough. It's great. Rez says, "When that chick freaked out with the gun shooting at the face hugger and blew up their ship."
That was
Oh
the
my
dumbest
gosh,
thing.
I know.
We saw that in a hotel. Like, we watched it in
I know.
theaters, and then it was
Yeah.
on in the hotel.
Yeah. It was
And
just- oh, it
as
was
it was
so
happening,
ridiculous.
I'm like, you literally
so-
could have done
yeah.
anything different in
I
every
know.
single scene of this movie, and it would have been better than the
It
choice
is.
that you made.
It
It's
is.
just terrible.
I know.
That movie and Godzilla King of Monsters, I feel like, are two of the biggest, like, how did you swing and miss this hard? It is not difficult
Yeah,
to make a
to
decent
make-
alien
Right.
or Godzilla movie. You make them
Exactly.
scary, you make
They
them kill
definitely-
people. It's simple. It's formulaic and it
Yeah.
works.
Noble says, "Don't judge, but
Ugh.
only seen the first two alien movies. Are the rest worth watching?"
No. I liked 4. So the reason I asked Rocker Gamer is because I actually think, and Pyle corrected me, Resurrection is a weird movie that is enjoyable in its own right. But 3 is terrible. Prometheus is all right if you like the extended alien universe.
Yeah,
and
you get a
Covenant
little bit
is
of backstory
insulting
though, which
to
I
taste.
like. Yeah. Oh, awful.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrible.
But Alien versus Predator, I mean, that's like...
I still haven't seen Predator. I just know that one
Bad.
scene with Arnold Schwarzenegger when he's like, "You're one ugly."
Oh, yeah. Do you know the
MFer.
other scene with Arnold Schwarzenegger? When he...
How about let's have a Predator movie now? I've never seen it.
Yeah, because he's like, "Dylan, what's the CIA got you pushing too many pencils?" And then they do the handshake, and they're like, "Nyeh," and it explodes. It's great. It's a great scene.
That's
in
ridiculous.
cinema.
That's funny.
Speaking of Arnold Schwarzenegger, Wonder Woman got delayed.
Yes, Wonder Woman 84 got delayed, which I was sort of speculating whether or not they would delay it to do a theater release or if they would just push it on
HBO.
Max because HBO now has DC. They have a channel for DC.
Yes, they've
They have all
canceled
the
their
movies.
DC streaming service. So
Right.
they're just migrating all that to...
So why not just do
HBO.
an online release for it?
Yeah.
If you already have this perfect thing set up for it, I don't know what they're going to get from insisting that it has to be in theaters. I don't know if
Well-
they're expecting that's going to get them more revenue or what.
So,
But I don't think it's a good idea. I think why not just
Tenet made $175 million, which is terrible.
Right.
That's awful. But you know what? Chris Nolan deserves it. Sorry, I said it here on the stream.
but why does he deserve
deserves
it?
Because he's being pretentious for no good reason. Because he thinks that what we have here is not good enough for his movie. People are gonna watch your movie on a phone and a Chinese hand cam capture, Chris. Doesn't matter.
Chris Nolan, though, I like Chris Nolan.
I don't.
think he's so
He's so
just so
overrated.
dramatic.
Anyway.
But yeah, Duffman says good for the Wonder Woman film. They clean up that cheetah animation. Oh yeah.
I think that okay. So
Did
firstly,
it change?
well,
Because the first trailer I saw that woman, but I
Yes.
didn't know who she was at all.
so I didn't know this till I played Injustice too. But Cheetah is like Wonder Woman's one of her big. It's like her Joker.
I didn't know that.
I don't know enough about Wonder Woman, to be fair. Like, I'm dipping my toe in unknown territory.
I think that's so cool. I'm so excited for Wonder Woman. I love that movie. That's got to be one of my favorite superhero movies. I cried multiple times during Wonder Woman.
It's a great movie.
Yes.
It's a very fun movie.
It's cute. It's funny. It has a ton of heart. I love that movie so much. I think it's had one of the best messages for a superhero movie I've ever seen. So I just love it. Starcar says Wonder Woman has no memorable villains.
Which is unfortunate.
It does so. You don't remember her uncle? Emerald says, isn't the theater... Oh, I totally missed what Emerald said.
Hold on, I'll get it.
Bishop said Cheetah is Wonder Woman's frenemy.
I've lost the YouTube app somehow. Here,
I mean, isn't Joker Batman's frenemy?
It's like his
Aren't
mortal.
they sort of friends?
It's foil.
Ansel says,
who was I
her
reading?
uncle. Yeah, her uncle.
Who did I miss? I missed someone.
You missed someone.
I missed something.
I forget. I was.
Emerald said, "Isn't the
Emerald,
theater
yes,
thing an
you.
Oscar requirement?" So that's probably why they insist on showing in a theater. Yeah, but Oscars suck.
It's just a popularity contest.
If I was a pretentious filmmaker like Chris Nolan, I'd be way more concerned with the billions I could be netting by putting my movie on a streaming service than getting an Oscar, which we've proven via Leonardo DiCaprio means nothing. They will give it to you for your worst movie, and they will snub you on everything else.
Yeah.
Who cares? It's
Rodwell
like Rotten
says,
Tomatoes.
Joker is Batman's friend. What? They are sort of friends.
Yeah. Read The Killing Joke. It's a very interesting...
You'll understand why.
Why does it... Okay. You want proof that Joker and Batman are friends? Joker has killed more people than every other Batman villain combined. Yeah. I mean, Joker is like an international terrorist. And Bruce insists on not only not disfiguring and like breaking his bones, but like preserving him. I'm gonna put him in the least secure cell in Arkham so he can escape again.
He just puts him there so he can go visit him. I think Batman and
Joker love each other.
Secretly friends.
They are just friends. I think they're like unrequited love. Bruce and Joker need to become a thing.
I'm sure in some universes people would love that.
They probably are, yeah.
Bishop says, did you watch the new Oscars regulations? No, I haven't.
I don't care about the Oscars.
I don't know. Likewise, I really don't care. I think it's ridiculous that that's a requirement. A movie has to be shown in a theater in order to qualify. That's terrible. We all saw The Irishman. It was wonderful.
It was wonderful.
It wasn't up for any awards. I just think the whole awards is so overrated.
Didn't Roma get nominated for Oscar, and that was Netflix?
I think so. Yeah.
So that's nonsense.
It's just
that's
awful.
Absolute nonsense.
I really don't care. I don't really think so. Mr. Telly says, as Joker says in Dark Knight interrogation scene, you complete me.
Yeah, that was totally in there. Yeah.
Okay,
he looked at him and he's like, you had me at hello.
So they have some sort of spiritual connection with each other. Noble Willow says, got to disagree with you on Chris Nolan. His movies are worth seeing in the cinema as they deserve the biggest screen possible. However, I think they should have delayed Tenet by a year because of COVID. See, I like Christopher Nolan. I have no complaints about him. I will absolutely see Tenet. I don't think I've seen a Christopher Nolan film that I haven't liked.
Yeah. I mean, I like his movies.
I think he's
They're
great.
Good.
Him and also the guy who directed Shutter Island. I really like.
I don't know who that is.
The guy who directed Shutter Island.
Oh, was that Martin Scorsese? Did Martin Scorsese do Shutter Island?
I don't think Martin Scorsese did Shutter Island.
Hold up.
Either Chris Nolan or Martin Scorsese.
Martin Scorsese did Shutter Island.
Wow.
Holy crap. I never put that together.
But Martin Scorsese adores Leonardo DiCaprio.
Well, Martin Scorsese is phenomenal. Like, I wouldn't even put him and Nolan in the same camp. Like,
I don't have a problem with Christopher Nolan. What is a Christopher Nolan film that you don't like?
I mean, I think they're all okay. They're all good.
No, they're all defining. Trust me.
They're not.
This
is where I disagree. They're not
Batman
defining.
quotes, who's the Batman you quote? You quote the Christopher
Michael
Nolan
Keaton.
movies. Now,
You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?
Give me a single Michael Keaton Batman quote.
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Do you know how many movies that could be? That could be from You've Got Mail.
Yeah, I remember when Tom Hanks said that to Meg Ryan in like mail form.
That could be from You've Got Mail.
I was working at my bookstore
Willow,
today, and someone said to me, "You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts." He was talking about peanuts.
Oh, Tiara says, I saw Shutter Island this week and I wasn't impressed. I haven't seen that movie in a long time, but I love Leonardo DiCaprio. You have to realize Leonardo DiCaprio was my first male human crush I had that wasn't Basil of Baker Street or Mustard Centipede.
There you
From
go.
James and the Giant Peach.
There you go.
So he was my first healthy male crush. So he was the first boy I ever wrote a letter to.
Noble Willow asks, have you seen the Christopher Nolan's first film, Following? I have.
I haven't.
And I think that was his second best movie after Memento.
Wow.
I think Christopher Nolan peaked out the gate.
Jason
Everything
Roberts
since
says
then
Michael
went
Keaton
downward.
was better. Oh, I'm not at all arguing that Michael Keaton or... I think we all know Christian Bale is the worst Batman.
What was the movie after Inception? With McConaughey. That was terrible.
Interstellar?
Yeah.
No, I loved Interstellar.
The only good scene in that movie was the last one where they're in that weird book room.
Interstellar
That
was great. I don't have a problem with Interstellar.
It's just like...
I don't have a problem with Interstellar. I love Matthew McConaughey.
I love Matthew McConaughey. I thought that movie was...
Salty Select says Conroy. Yes. Conroy is the best Batman.
I don't disagree.
Conroy is the best Batman, Kevin Conroy.
I don't disagree.
I adore him. He was so fantastic at it. Tiara says Interstellar is bad too. Tiara, what happened? We were like on a wavelength. Now you're on Flex's wavelength. I didn't mind Interstellar. I don't.
No, that was bad. I think
don't
Inception was
remember.
good. Batman was...
I
All
can't
the Batmans
remember.
were...
I've only seen it. I saw it when it first came out a while ago.
I'd actually like to see Dunkirk. Because I thought that one actually looked really good.
Yeah, Dunkirk. That's on our list to watch.
See, I think Nolan is better when he's not given so much freedom.
Right.
Like when you confine him to reality, his movies are better. Following, Memento. I've heard Dunkirk looked really good. Like that appeals to me.
So
But when he
apparently-
gets like beyond the scope of like comic books, space, dreams, it's just like I will say the scene in Inception where JGL was running in the hallway and the room's turning. That was great.
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite Christopher Nolan scene.
Inception?
That was great. Yes. I also like JGL. He's a good guy.
I liked Inception.
Yeah.
That was great. Anya says, I've been shut out of the Batman fandom since Pattinson is going to be a good Batman. I've been shut out of the Batman fandom since I think Patterson is going to be... I missed it. I was too slow.
I will get it.
Went off screen. Tiara says, Inception is bad. What? No, I love Inception. Okay, Paprika did it. Yes, Paprika did do Inception. That is correct. You know what? Paprika is so weird because that parade, the music in the parade scene freaks me out
So
in
good.
Paprika.
Yeah.
It's so creepy.
I like that director.
And well done. A Pale Dot says Dunkirk is surprisingly artsy movie. I've heard we have to watch Dunkirk and we have to watch 1917.
Yes.
These are two
In that
things on our
order.
list that I do want to watch. I've heard they're really, really good.
Anya says, I've been shut out of Batman fandom since I think Pattinson is going to be a good Batman since people only remember him from Twilight. But he's done
know.
other movies and he's a really
Poor
good actor.
Pattinson. He's a
And
really good actor.
Cosmopolis.
Yes.
Great Pattinson. Good Time. Phenomenal Pattinson. The King. Tremendous Pattinson. They just get better. He's like a fine wine. Better with age.
You're missing The Lighthouse.
Tremendously good Pattinson.
Fantastic in
He
The
transcends
Lighthouse.
himself in that movie.
I never saw Twilight, so I never had this
Never been
feeling
scarred.
of Robert Pattinson only being Edward the vampire to me.
Yes, I love him.
He was only ever, I can't remember the first movie I watched that wasn't Twilight that had him in it. But it was so good. And I just think he's phenomenal.
Yeah, I think he's tremendous.
I didn't get to see him
Love
as
it.
Batman. I mean, we didn't get to see enough Batman.
I can't wait to
with
see
him.
more Batman.
I think it's going to be great.
Bring on the
I think it's
Batman.
going to be great. Andrew says, maybe you should watch Twilight now that you've seen a lot of his other films.
What if they're like secretly really good movies?
They're really popular. People love them.
I mean, people.
But probably not for the reasons we would.
I think it's the sparkle.
Yeah. Rez says The Lighthouse, the black and white film where William
Mr.
Dafoe
Sparkle.
farts a lot. Yes. That's
great.
exactly it. Starcar says, I simp for Pattinson while others sneered. Now who's laughing?
I don't know if it's
When
good,
did you
weird.
ever simp for Pattinson? I can't remember that. Tiara says, unironically, Twilight 1 is romantic.
Twilight movie night.
I
win.
might, we should just do it for fun.
Just do it.
That might be a fun
I mean, we did
I
Cats.
think.
If we could do Cats, we could do anything.
yeah, absolutely. Jason Robertson
It-
said
you know
Pattinson
what?
will make a great Batman.
I bet you it's better than Birds of Prey.
Anything will be better than Birds of Prey.
Anything will be better than
Birds of Prey was the worst movie I've ever seen in a really long time. Awful.
All right, so that's movies.
That's movies.
We're almost at the end. I got like 2 more real things and we're done.
Wow.
Hyrule Warriors, Breath of the Wild prequel is coming out. Did you see that?
No.
Do you care?
No.
Nah.
We could talk about it though.
I mean, I like Hyrule Warriors. I like Breath of the Wild. But we already know what happens.
Yeah.
It's kind of like...
Yeah, it's hard to do.
I don't need a prequel.
Exactly. Although we said the same thing with Red Dead Redemption 2.
Very true.
And I had no idea how much I needed Arthur Morgan in my life.
You know, I think the same thing is probably true about Mifa. Because you'll be able to play as Mifa now in full. So you'll be able to fight thousands of moblins as Mifa. And we all need that.
We all need that.
I thought you hated Mifa. Didn't you hate Mifa?
I don't remember.
She was the little red fish girl.
Can't stand.
You've written it out of your mind.
I can't stand.
I can't even troll
William
you.
Hawkins says, "Have you guys heard about the Scott Pilgrim game?"
Yes. Yeah, we talked about that.
We did a little while ago, actually.
Well, we talked about the movie, but yeah, they're re-releasing the game, which is a really fun beat 'em up.
Mm-hmm. It is fun, yeah.
We played that, I think.
Yeah,
back on the PlayStation.
Right.
It's a good game. I definitely play it again.
The Scott Pilgrim thing.
I love Scott Pilgrim. I love the comics. I love the comics.
It's too edgy for me.
It's one of the few times, because usually when Stranger Things is very fake. Like Stranger Things is not real teenagers, but Stand By Me and that feels like real teenagers. Scott Pilgrim the comic book does the same thing. It's like I was a weird kid like Scott Pilgrim. Like Scott Pilgrim's a weird kid and his friends are weird kids and they have a weird band. Like I remember that. That resonates because that feels real. That's why I like it.
Yeah.
And it's got a lot of cool games.
I just don't like when things have to try so hard.
Yeah.
Someone, I think it was Mr. Tellius, sorry if I'm totally getting the person wrong, but said, I didn't like Mifa because Mifa was a shy, healer. I think that's exactly right.
That's why I made the joke.
You just reminded me.
You hated Mifa. You
because
loved Prince Sidon.
I can't stand when your voice has to get, oh my gosh, Link, let me heal you. Let me make sure you're okay, Link.
That was Mifa.
That's disgusting.
That's why I made the joke.
That makes me want to faint.
You can play as her.
I can't stand that.
We'll do co-op. You can be Mifa. And I can be the
I don't
Rivali.
like that. Jason Robinson says, when do we guys do a Bible study video? You know what? I was just talking about that today. I was just saying I want to do a Bible study video because I got the nastiest message from this Christian who apparently is a longtime viewer. So if you're watching this right now, please stop watching me and leave me alone. I'm serious. You're an absolute psychopath.
Christians be crazy these days.
Absolutely crazy. I don't understand. Out of all the people to try and pull beef with, you want to pull beef with me because I said we should save the earth.
It's weird that the people
and
who claim to be the followers of Jesus are the least Jesus people I've ever seen in my life.
And then accusing me of not knowing what's in the Bible. I'm not even going to get into it. But yeah, Jason, maybe we're going to do a Bible study video based on that. Why are Christians the most? And I this is an exaggeration right here. Why are we as Christians? Why are Christians so eager to judge when it is one of the things you are directly commanded not to do? Multiple times you were told not to judge.
I got nothing. I got no answer.
You were told
you're not supposed to
do not reach over and point out the plank in your neighbor's the speck in your neighbor's eye when you can't even pull out the plank in your own eye.
I mean, that's this country.
This
country lives for that.
Judge not, lest ye be judged.
Christian country.
So I want to talk about this. Why is this knee-jerk reaction to be judgmental when you are continuously told not to judge? But we'll get to that another day. Jason Robinson says, it would be great to do a Bible study in these times. I think it would be great for my encouragement to hear other people that believe in God who have the same morals and values that we do, because I have yet to find one in the wild that has not made me embarrassed or ashamed.
Yes.
And make me want to pull away from even, like this morning, I said, I don't even want to be associated. And that is where I am in my life with this.
Yep.
Because I'm sick and tired of seeing these nasty attitudes of people. Oh, you care about that? What's wrong with you? What's wrong? You don't care about that. God's going to take care. Let God sort him out. This is from someone supposed to be a Christian.
A loving, kind person.
So I can't deal with it right now.
Yeah.
I'm so done with that. Mr. Telly says, imagine following your own rules correctly. Yeah, imagine that.
Imagine that.
If you want to accuse me of not knowing a Bible, and yet you directly go against multiple commandments and there to just love thy neighbor, that's ridiculous. Jason says, do you guys have Instagram? Actually, I was thinking I want to start making like cute little dress video posts on Instagram or practice my French video posts on Instagram.
I will never have an Instagram.
But I don't have anything to link right now. I'll update you next week. That'll be my homework for this week.
Speaking of Christianity.
What's that?
So you put on here, in Civilization, there was a Gandhi error.
Oh my gosh, I want to talk about this. Yes. Red says, I'm Jewish and I even enjoy reading up on Christian studies. Yeah, I actually I double majored. Religion was one of my other majors in college. So I learned a lot about Judaism as well. I can't remember a lot of it. It was the 3 Abrahamic faiths, so Islam, Judaism, and Christianity, because they all believe in the same God.
Yes.
Yeah. Really interesting, though. But so Frank, of all people, my boss Frank,
Love him. Love
who
Frank.
comes to work with a hole in his pants. If he ever watches this stream, I'm dead.
You're done for.
He
has to watch so many hours to find the bits on him, though.
He would.
And he's going to think Frank is like your previous boss.
There's no way.
He'll never know.
My boss was reading this book called Humble Pie, Errors in Math. And he was so excited to tell me that there was a section about coding errors in video games. And he was so excited to tell me this because finally we have something to relate to. Because all he does is drink beer and watch football, and I have nothing in common with the man. So he was so excited to tell me something about video games that I didn't understand.
I'm excited to hear it.
So apparently he says, you know the game Civ, right?
Yeah.
I said, yeah, Civ. Yeah, I play that game. So apparently in Civ, there was this error where there was this peaceful mode. Now, peacefulness on a scale of 1 to 100, Gandhi was a 1. But the code in the game didn't recognize 0. So when they actually went to decrease the peacefulness for all the characters, Gandhi didn't have a 0 to go to, so it went straight to 100.
Oh.
And there was a time when Gandhi, for no reason, you'd build a city and all of a sudden Gandhi has declared war on you. Gandhi has declared a nuclear strike. He was so aggressive because it didn't go to 0.
That's
it
hilarious.
cycled back.
That is hilarious.
So it became a joke, yeah.
Yeah.
Gandhi was the most aggressive, violent leader.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I thought that was really, really funny.
Well, that was remember that Aliens, what was that Aliens game we played?
Which one?
The co-op one. We played with Ransom back in the day.
Oh, yeah, that was really good.
Did you know the whole reason the AI was so bad in that was like a simple number error?
Wow.
And they found it out 2 or 3 years ago.
Right.
They're we could fix the AI.
Kalima says 1 to 256. Okay, thank you. Wow, that's even worse. 256. I think that's hilarious, though. Dion says Gandhi being a worker is maniac. I was laughing. I thought I would love to play that mode.
That would
but
be
apparently
fun.
it's a joke now that Gandhi's like a warlord. Yeah. But that was because of that simple code, that error.
I think it's better that Gandhi's a warlord than they make Mussolini a benevolent, peaceful man. Yeah. It's way less offensive that way. It was a better error.
And there was another... Oh, Colonial Marines!
That's it, yeah. That was just a simple number. It was another one of things like that.
Wow.
They had... Or I think there was a comment that turned off the AI. And that's why it behaved so badly.
But if you've ever done anything with coding, you know...
That's all it takes.
All it takes is one character.
If it compiles, it good.
Yeah. That is so mind-boggling to me, though, because you'll see a lot of these games flawless, but there's one specific scenario that happens that breaks it. It's because of something that wasn't well written. You really have to have a lot of respect for programmers.
Oh, I do. Having done it for 5 years and never wanting to do it again, I have nothing but respect for people that code.
I know that a lot of people in the chat are probably programmers, too. I just have to read Jason's comments really sweet. The next time someone judges you guys, stay humble and say it sucks to feel that way. Let your light shine. Thank you, Jason. That's a good way That's a really nice attitude to have. And usually I just ignore it. Because it's not worth my time, but it is disheartening. Duffman says Q&A will often catch these issues, but scheduled dictates release. Oh yeah, we've seen that so many times.
I started my career in QA.
Yeah.
And I remember my first week on the job, for a very notoriously bad release. They pulled us all into a room, and apparently just like the leadership was, tyrants at the time, and they're like, should we go out with this project? And all I'd heard my first week on the job was like, this thing is terrible, it's bad, we've done customer tests, they hate it, and like they're like, I want to see thumbs up of everyone in the room who wants the release to go out. And it was like, if you don't think it should go out, just raise your hand and we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
One person raised his hand and they like took him out, and then he came back in and he's just like,
wow,
that's QA. Like, it doesn't
That's
matter
ridiculous.
what you know.
That's ridiculous. TR says, do you play Civ 5? It's great. Yes. We should definitely play a game. That would be super fun. We started to play, though.
So that's on the list. Crusader
Kings,
freaking
that's
Kings
it.
3. My
Crusader
game
Kings
of
3.
the year 2020. I cannot. Cyberpunk can come out. That game could be the best thing ever. It's not going to be Crusader Kings 3.
Yeah.
I know that much. Crusader Kings 3 is crack. It's cocaine. I want to play it right now. It's the best thing ever. That game is so good. It's so good.
It is really good.
It is. So we talked about this last week. Like, we talked about like story versus mechanics and how mechanics can drive story. Crusader Kings 3 is the definition of using mechanics to tell story.
Yeah.
It is perfect.
It is really good.
They
There's-
destroyed one of my saves. I had a 20-hour save. I had half the map conquered
Yeah,
in Sweden.
I know.
I cannot play that game anymore. I'm not even mad. I get to start over and try again. I love this game.
Wow.
It's so good.
You love it.
I love it.
I'm glad.
It's
good to
amazing.
have a game that, that you love.
But it's so
that you
weird.
can
It's
go
not a
to.
me thing. Like, I don't like strategy. I'm not a strategy guy, but it's just so freaking
Faisal
good.
says, nice dress. Thank you, Faisal. It actually looks a little sloppy right now because the way the slit is, it looks better when I'm standing up. It's not really a dress to sit down in. But thank you, I appreciate it nonetheless. William Hacking says, downloadable patches are one of the best and worst things to happen to game releases. Well, best because it fixes a broken game, doesn't it?
Yes. A broken game pre-DLC or pre-internet is
Pre-patch.
pretty much broken until the internet
Yeah.
came out.
That's true.
Now I do remember in the past, I don't remember what games it were, but they did issue correction carts for certain console games, and they would also send floppy disks to people who had like broken games. In fact, I remember Jack X Racing for the PS2. You could return that game because in the original disc copy, it would corrupt your save. Like after playing for an hour,
Wow.
like it wouldn't save.
That's awful.
So you'd have to like take the disc back and they'd give you another one to fix
Yeah.
it. But like it does happen. It did
It
happen.
does.
But
Anya says, off-topic question, but how many dresses does Kate have? I have a few. Maybe I have 24.
how 24?
Yeah. I have 24.
You have way more than 24 dresses. You have way more than 24 dresses.
I'm going to count them.
You should.
I will count. I'll give you
I
an
think
honest
you have about
answer.
50. That's my
No,
guess.
that's a total inaccurate. I do
I think
not
you have
have
about
50.
50 dresses.
Okay, we're going to take a bet. You say I have close to 50. I say I have no more than 24.
Okay.
We'll see.
So whoever's closer wins.
But,
we'll return to this next stream. What does the winner get?
No, I'm going to go count in the closet right after. I'm going to post in the Discord.
Okay.
Also, you know what? So Drew says, do you throw them out or save them all? I save them all. I actually have really not, I haven't really changed too much since high school as far as like my measurement. I don't have any dresses from high school. I do have a coat, but I really don't grow out of my dresses or anything like that. So I do save them and I buy resale. So this is actually a pre-owned dress. Some woman probably moved on to the next great dress and now I have her old dress. I love resale clothing because fashion is I think fashion is one of the top 3 biggest polluters on the planet just because of how cheap textiles are. They don't break down. They're terrible for the environment. The production of them is terrible for the environment. The human rights aspect of having laborers make clothing and then upsell the cost. So it's very bad industry. So I buy resale and I feel like it's a great way to find something that it's going to be a lower cost too, but you're most likely going to find something that really nice that someone just doesn't like anymore or they moved on to the next thing. So I highly suggest you look into resale if you haven't yet, because I've found some really pretty things. I pretty much exclusively only buy resale. Tiara says resale is great. It's a dress and a murder mystery. Yes. Okay, there was this great story I read back when I was young.
Yeah.
My parents should have never let me read scary stories to tell in the dark, but there was this great story
Parents didn't know.
about this.
Just like action part.
Yeah. This girl wearing this dress, and it was a rented dress, and she took it to prom, and she started to get sick throughout the night, and then she died. And then the woman who rented her the dress came and took the dress off her body because she soaked the dress with formaldehyde. And then she took it back to do it again.
So what happened? She died?
Yeah. She died.
So why did they take the dress back and do it again?
You're psycho.
Oh, she was poisoning people.
Yeah.
At least the person who wore the dress.
No, the woman
Put it in
who
formaldehyde.
gave her
How
the
did she do it
dress.
again if she was dead?
The woman who gave her the dress was doing that.
Got it.
So one day, I really hope I don't get a dress soaked like that. That would be terrible.
It's like the whole like razor
That's
blades
awful.
and candy.
You know what would be really fun is if we played a murder mystery in the Discord server.
How would we do?
How we would do is we would assign roles. So we would each have, I would make like a sorting basket. And it would have 10 cards in it or something. So we'd each pull a card, but we wouldn't know which character we have.
Well, they actually, you can do like werewolf.
That would be
large
fun.
Groups in Discord.
We should do that.
And you can play it over the course of days. Like, so every day you do a hanging of whoever gets the most votes.
I think we should definitely do that.
Yeah, we
I'm
can
going to
do
look
that.
into that. That would be really, really fun. Emerald says, it was a rental. Of course she took it back.
But she was dead.
She was dead. Tiara says, you don't wash clothes you buy before wearing them. Frankly, you deserve to be poisoned. You know what happened once? His father got a shirt from a race and he wore it and he started to get sick
Yeah, to go to the
because of the
hospital.
same reason.
Yep.
Because it was soaked in formaldehyde.
It's like made in China.
Right. There was some chemical on the shirt because he didn't wash it. He just got the shirt and he put it on. Yeah, you always have to wash your stuff before you buy it. You have no idea what it's been soaked in or sprayed. Oh, terrible. Red says, can I put the lotion in the basket? Oui, monsieur. Put the lotion in the basket.
Puts the lotion on its skin.
But that would imply that
Or
I'm
it gets the
trying
hose
to
again.
make your skin soft so I can wear it. I don't know. I don't know if I'd like your skin, Rez. I don't know what you said have for
Might
it.
taste good with some Chianti and some fava beans.
Bishop says, doesn't formaldehyde stink?
Yes. Very much so.
How do you know what formaldehyde smells like, you
You're hanging around enough
weirdo?
bodies and you figure
Ansel
it
says
out.
formaldehyde on clothing is typical horror story of someone renting a suit, putting it on a corpse, and then taking it back to where they got it. Oh my gosh. Has that happened before? That's horrific. That's actually horrific if someone would do that.
Thumbs up emoji if this has happened to you.
That sounds like a really, really good story, though. Bishop says, I run a clothing rental store.
I knew
Okay,
it.
yeah. Okay. I totally believe that. So now what?
Last thing, Xbox
Oh, yeah,
Sex got a price and a release
Why is
date.
it called Xbox?
Because it's the
Sex?
Series X.
Why would they call it sex?
Oh.
Xbox sex. Well, Xbox. Do we know what it is though?
The price?
yeah.
Yeah. I saved the link, but now it's not letting me go to it.
So my brother
I'll pull it
actually
up.
asked me this because the new Xbox, he wanted to know if it was a good deal, and I told him that I thought Microsoft was actually getting away from Xbox games because they have Game Pass, and everything that they're releasing on the Xbox, they'll release on the PC.
Yes.
So why get an Xbox?
Because a
If
lot
you
of people
don't have
can't build a
computer.
PC.
Right.
I mean, like, and that's the thing is, it's not that building a PC is hard. One, it is way more expensive. You just got a new PC.
Okay, Bishop's November 10th for both, 500 and 300.
Yeah, so there's a high end and a low end. So the Xbox is turning into the iPhone, where it's no longer going to be like PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3. Rather, it's just the Xbox is the Xbox, and they will continue to play all the games, just the new one plays them better. 4K, 120
Right.
frames per second, all of that nonsense. But it is essentially a PC. The Xbox is like, if you look at this thing, this refrigerator of a machine,
Yeah.
like this is a computer.
Right.
That's they understand that people don't want to build their own PCs.
But Rez says these consoles have no games to entice customers to buy the consoles.
Well-
That's true. It's coming out November 10th. What game are they releasing for?
Well,
What's their
you
title?
can play every single game that the Xbox One had.
Oh, that's not a good
Yeah, but if you
selling
so
point.
let's say you have a 4K TV and you have a TV that supports 120 hertz, and you want to play your games in the highest quality. There's a new controller. Is there a new controller? I don't know. That looks like an old controller. You can play your games in the highest quality. Maybe your Xbox One is the original model. It's like a good time to upgrade.
Right.
If you want to get like the newest, coolest
I don't
thing.
know. Usually they like to announce title games though for things like this, don't they?
But all the title games are going to work on the old Xbox as well.
Yeah, maybe.
I think Microsoft really just wants to provide something to play their games on. They're not doing the whole we're better than PlayStation thing anymore. It's like we'll just release the games on everything so everyone has it.
So they're not doing...
It's the iPhone model.
Right.
You don't need to get the newest iPhone to play Candy Crush. But Candy Crush runs better on the newest iPhone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like maybe if you don't have a PC, you're not playing games already.
Xbox is great.
Yeah.
Well, the value of Game Pass is tremendous. So we use Game Pass on PC.
Right.
It's
Game
been
Pass,
$4 a month.
Yes.
It's going to be $10 a month, I think, in October. But they're partnering up with EA Play, which is another streaming service. So now you get access to all of their games as well. 400 games in a library for $10 a month.
Yeah.
Phenomenal deal.
It has been a really good deal. And when you look at it, so 6 months on that is buying, a game. Right, exactly.
Brand new.
And then usually we have to buy 2 copies to play with each other.
So it's great for us because we play so many Xbox Game Pass games co-op.
Right.
Crusader Kings, we played Halo, like all
Fallout.
these, Fallout. It's great if you have a multiplayer gaming group. And we do Halo nights.
Yeah. No, it's been good. It's a really good deal, I will say. Bishop says 400 games I wouldn't pay $4 to play. Yeah, right. Some of them have been really fun.
Crusader Kings 3, legit my game of the year right now.
Yeah.
My game of the year.
That's been really fun. And that's a new release game. It's not like
Brand
they made
new.
you
It just
wait
came
for
out.
it.
No.
So they could easily say, oh, well, for Xbox, for Game Pass members, we're going to make them wait 3 months or something like that.
Now
They
you
didn't
get
do
games
that.
on launch.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. Like the Outer Worlds. And actually, it's kind of a benefit too because some games aren't great. Like I was really psyched for the Outer Worlds, and I thought that game was not good. And I'm glad I didn't have to pay $60 for it.
Yeah.
I paid $4. I played it for 15 hours. I'm like, I don't like this, and I never played it again.
Noble Willis is not much of a gamer, but want to know what is the sound quality like on the best new home consoles with surround sound.
So that's another reason to get the upgrades because both the PS5 and the Xbox X have really good Dolby Atmos sound. So like you're actually getting a huge upgrade in the sound front on these new consoles.
Well, that's cool then.
Yeah, I mean like you can't do the kind of upgrades you had in the past. Like going from the Sega Genesis to the PlayStation, you're never going to see that jump in technology again.
Right.
It's incremental upgrades henceforth. So Sony wants to do big cinematic games, and that's how they're going to get people to come to their console.
Yeah.
Xbox just wants to, get people on their streaming service. Nintendo's gone handheld. There is no war anymore. The console war has ended.
It has.
The gamers won.
The gamers did win. I guess that's it. Jason Roberts says, which do you guys prefer, Xbox or PlayStation?
PlayStation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I like the PlayStation exclusives.
I know, PlayStation.
Yeah.
I've played more games on the PlayStation than I have on the Xbox, so I have to say I like the PlayStation for that.
Yeah.
Russ is not going to blow $300 to $500 for a new game rental terminal that I can already play on my current ones.
Yep.
That's exactly it. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not planning on getting it.
No. I'll get a PS5 if it has From Software games on it.
Right. But yeah, we're not personally getting it. Duffman says, gotta play my Hbo game, so PS5 it is. Yeah, I feel like the PlayStation is the only console now, well, along with the Switch, who has exclusives just for that console.
Yes.
That you have to get that console in order to play the games.
The Microsoft exclusives you can play on PC.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah, they've kind of branched. It is really nice.
Well, the thing is,
nice.
consoles are a money sink for the company. Generally, they sell them at cost. So they're not making money on consoles. They're making money on software. So Microsoft's done the smart thing and we just focus on the software henceforth.
Yeah, it will definitely be interesting to see how it plays out in the long term. So does anyone have anything else they want us to talk about? I know we're going to reflect on 9/11. Noble brought that up. I think that's a really nice thing to do. So we'll end the stream with that. But before we get to that, does anyone have anything they want to share or talk about? Any problems in their life? You know what? Too, I'm always available to talk about girl or guy problems.
She loves it.
I love that.
Loves it. Lives for it.
I love that. I love helping and knowing about, how your relationship is going and stuff. So if you have any questions like that, privately, probably
Not
not
here.
public.
Not here.
Don't do it here, but you could always do that. Mr. Tella says, "Oh, let's exchange virtual hugs." Ah, that's nice. Rogbull says, "I can't get up out of bed anymore." See what I did there? I censored you.
Tiara says, I had this amazing rationalization this morning.
See, we'll censor you guys.
Got him.
Censored, just like that. So I think that's it. Okay. Duffin says there's a Prince of Persia remake.
I've only played the Prince of Persia that had Nolan North in it. I love that game. I never played the good ones.
Yeah, I heard it was good though, right?
Yeah, it was really cool. You couldn't
Maybe I'll
die
play-
because
I'll
the
play
girl
the
would always
remake.
save you.
I'll play the remake. Joseph says you're really missing out on a possible video series here. What's that? Publicly tell me about your relationship drama. Rez says, I lived in Boston on 9/11. The city was shut down. I was in my 20s and it was definitely the end of an era.
Yeah, it changed everything.
It really did. I was in science class when I first
Probably
saw
8th grade.
it on the news. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was so... No, it wasn't 8th grade. I think it was 6th grade.
I was in 6th grade.
I don't
I
think
remember.
I was in 8th grade.
I
I
remember
can't remember
exactly where I
which
was.
grade I was in. I remember I was in science class, so I saw it on the news. And I don't think anyone understood what was going on. At
No.
least not anyone who was in school understood what was going on at the time. I knew that there was a Muslim girl in my class who her parents came and picked her up in the middle of the day. But I still didn't even, I remember not knowing what exactly had happened even after having seen it and having it explained to me. I don't know when it really set in for me. I think that's just because, did your parents tell you anything? How did you learn?
So I was in the computer lab. I remember I was in 6th grade. I was in the computer lab, and they always had the news on in the computer lab, and I was in a chat room. And people were explaining to me, like, in real time, what was going on, what was happening
Wow.
in this chat room I was in. It's actually like a Beatles chat room of all places, because I really liked the Beatles when I was younger. But, yeah, I knew... I didn't know, like, the whole... I don't think anyone knew. It took weeks to really understand who did what, and it took years to understand, like, who actually is responsible for this, and like the vilification that happened, obviously, you know, the news and the media and all that, but like I definitely knew that a lot of people died. I knew that this was like a terrible tragedy to the same extent like Pearl Harbor. Like there hadn't been an attack on American soil since Pearl Harbor.
Right.
And I knew that Pearl Harbor was a big deal. So the people in the chat room were explaining to me like how terrible this thing was. And I remember just being terrified. I was scared out of my mind.
Yeah.
Because I thought, like, this is just the beginning of something much bigger.
Right. Yeah, I really don't think I understood at the time. And now looking back, just thinking it was such a terrible thing to have happened, but to not even be aware of how bad it was at the time. Kind of just looking back, not feeling that I ever really... I didn't take it seriously enough having known at the time because I just didn't understand. But afterwards, I was actually in a play that we did that was in Memorial. And I played a Muslim girl in that play. I remember just crying throughout the entirety of it, though. We sang... Who's this? There's this female singer who sings like really somber songs.
Amy Winehouse?
No, not Amy Winehouse. This would have been like
Somber.
like Anya.
Enya.
Yeah,
Time After Time.
I think it was an Enya song.
Oh, yeah.
But I remember
Enya's
I
great.
remember when we had this play, I was just tears streaming down my face because it really like just...
Was that
Do
the
you
one? Was
remember?
that the play with the firefighter? Right.
Right.
I was the firefighter.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
This
years
is gonna
later.
now this is gonna make
Yeah.
me cry.
Yeah. It's very sad.
It's a complete tragedy.
And
It's just such a terrible thing, but to hear stories to hear stories from the time, to hear actual see footage, to hear clips, it's just, and still, even after all this time, I still remember how I felt when it kind of finally kicked in that this was just such a terrible thing that had happened. I think that was the last time I've ever seen the country just completely unified.
Yeah.
Which is really sad, too.
Yeah.
But I just remember the whole American pride was probably at its height.
Yep.
Because they always say it takes a national tragedy. It takes a tragedy to pull people together. That's not even true anymore. It's really not. That the whole point of the Watchmen comic was the villain of the story had to create this artificial threat in order to unite everybody.
And it was true, but it's not anymore.
Right. And I just feel like if something tragic, so many tragic things have happened today, and we're just so split on it.
Yeah.
It's just terrible, though.
Well, it's terrible for so many reasons, because at the time, we vilified this entire nation of people. Mm-hmm. This entire nation of people became the public villain of America.
Right.
Like, we looked at them the same way we looked at Nazis. And, like, reflecting back on myself and how I felt, I was totally wrong. I was also totally brainwashed by the media and everyone around us. And the fallout from that, I think, has just been terrible. Mm-hmm. Because even then, we were being told that, like, there's no good people over there. And, they're all bad. They're all terrorists. We should just bomb them all. And to think, like, this event, we lost so many just innocent people who just went to work. They just went to work and they died. And there was no reason for this to happen. Like, no one thinks a plane is going to slam into my building today when I go to my office. But the fallout afterwards, to go to war with an entire nation of people, to send our soldiers to there and to kill who knows how many hundreds of thousands of people who might not even deserve to die because they have no relation to the people responsible for this event. It's just, it's a tragedy followed by basically nuclear fallout afterwards. That we're still paying for today. Yeah. People still hate with a vehement passion and ascribe an entire nation of people to the events of that day. And we know it's not true. Like, we know factually that's not true. And we still do. And it's just the xenophobia that has followed since then is unbelievable. And it's only gotten worse.
And I don't know if you saw Jon Stewart's speech where he was speaking on behalf of the first responders, who these awful before and after photos of the people who were on the ground on 9/11 and just seeing how sick they got and all what it did to their body, how many of them died. It's just absolutely terrible. Yeah. To not have treated those people who were the first ones in there risking their lives. They
had to have known when they were running towards, I mean, we've all seen the footage. They had to have known when they ran to those buildings, they knew, I'm probably going to die. And like, that's a hero. That's a true hero.
And Tiara says rescue dogs died too. Yeah. Yeah, it's a terrible, terrible tragedy. I'm sorry for crying. I know I've missed a lot of comments too, so I apologize for not reading your comments. But thank you, Noble, for reminding us that we should probably take a moment and talk about, because what a sad thing to have died or been involved in this, and then it's just something that someone on Twitter can make a joke about. That makes me really sick. I hate that kind of culture. I think there's something, we should always be somber, and we should always there has to be some sort of basic level of respect that you have for some terrible event. Yeah. It's never going to be funny. It's never going to be something that you can just brush over.
I don't even, 2 years ago, I had to go to New York. I don't know if you remember this. I went to New York on 9/11 for my job, and it had nothing to do with the day of the event. Just that was a day that we were meeting with some customers in our building, and it was impossible for me to get a hotel. I didn't know this, but like, people come from all over the planet to come to the 9/11 memorial in New York on 9/11 to remember. Right. So like, it's not just an American tragedy. Like, it affected people worldwide. It's just, I think it signified the end of an age. Yeah. Really. And like, I had kind of forgotten when I went there. Like, I didn't even realize that was the day. And just to see, like, you couldn't walk down the streets because people were speaking all kinds of different languages. Everyone was there. people were there to remember, and it was good to know that like it's not just an American tragedy. It was a worldwide tragedy that just changed everything.
Right.
And it is sad. I think
it is.
People who make jokes, I would be the first to admit that sometimes I forget. You know, it's not top of mind. Like 9/11 was this morning. I didn't get up out of bed and think like this is a terrible day in our history.
Right.
You know, it took looking at the calendar like, oh, today's 9/11.
Yeah.
It's very sad.
Yeah.
That we've already become so distant from it and forgotten like the impact it's had on us.
Right. Yeah. I definitely think this is why reflection is an important thing.
Yeah.
And just talking about it. I'm sorry for missing so many of your comments. Noble says, thank you for that. Sorry for making you tear up. No, don't apologize. I'm a really, really sensitive person, and I have a bleeding heart, and I've always been really thankful for that, because there's so many people who are so callous, and I feel like no matter how empathetic I can be, there's going to be someone who's 10 times as callous as me. So I'm just the person to make up for that, because I'm 10 times as sensitive as the typical person is.
I think it's one of your
apologize for that.
best features.
Yeah. Although we
you
talked about this last week, how I'm not always happy. It's okay to be sad, but yeah, I just feel things very, very strongly, but it's not something that I'm ashamed of, or I wish I could change about myself. It's a cross to bear, I will tell you, because sometimes it gets hard, but I would rather be sensitive to something than to just be callous or brush it off.
Yep.
So
I totally agree. And
it's not your fault.
I love that, because you help keep me, whether it's for an event like this or if you see something about an animal being mistreated, you help bring me into the empathy. Because like I could ignore it, because I'm the kind of person that can just like, I'll brush it off. I'm not going to let it get to, I can repress it. Like I forget bad things that happen because I don't want to remember them.
Yeah.
But your empathy and your ability to be sad helps me to focus in and realize like it's okay to be upset. It's okay to be sad. So I appreciate that.
And then you bring me back sometimes when I'm too far off the edge.
Yeah.
We
help
support
each other. We help each other.
A Pale Dot says, we've become so desensitized to death nowadays. It's really sad.
It is
really,
very sad.
Really is very sad. And I don't think it's at all because of media. I know a lot of people will criticize video games or movies for desensitizing the. I don't think it is the media. I think it is social media. I think it is platforms like Facebook and Twitter and the news that just, they make it so easy for someone's life to be summed up in just a few words, and you just scroll past it. It's just trained people to look past it. So I just think it's just a really terrible thing to get to that point. So I really encourage all of you, and this was really good to talk about. I'm sorry again for not including everyone. I'm sure you had a lot of good comments. I'll go back and read them, but I think it's really good to just realize that sometimes you need to take a step back. You need to slow down. You need to pay attention to things and treat them with respect, because that is all we can hope for going forward from this point from our leaders. You want people who are going to stop and revere things that happen and give them the respect that is needed. So
I think one thing that's really helped me, and this is from Marie Kondo, is thanking the things, even thanking inanimate objects.
Yeah. And
like your food, and just being thankful for the good moments that you have had with an object or the person, or the joy that a yoga mat can give you or something like that. I think it's very important not just to remember to be present and aware of the situation that the world is in, but also to be grateful for the things that you have. And even if you're in a terrible situation, you can always change your perception of it and try to make things better.
Right.
If not for yourself, but for someone else.
Right. And if you are in a terrible situation and there's any remotely way possible that I can help, whether give you encouragement or help you work through something, please always know that you can message me and I will honestly try to work through it with you. If you need someone, we're definitely here as a support. Rez says, every day we're alive is a gift. Good isn't guaranteed, so when it comes, appreciate it. Yes, I think gratitude is, like Flex said, just having a sense of gratitude for things that, even an inanimate object that's brought you joy, or it's just a really good mindset to get in. Just saying thank you, I think, is a really good practice. So we'll try and incorporate that a little every day. That's our mission for the week, everybody. We're going to start thanking the things that bring us joy, and thanking the ways in which our lives are made better.
Yeah.
And I constantly thank the dogs. Thank you so much for making my life good. Faisal says you guys are so sweet. Ah.
A happy note.
Thank
Luna,
you, Faisal.
come here, Luna. Come here. This dog, when I play games that make me really frustrated.
Tiara says thank you, Long Dog and Big Dog.
Long Dog and Big Dog.
That's their name.
If I'm playing Dark Souls, or if I'm playing Apex Legends and I get really upset, she will come put her face on my leg. This dog has not been trained to be a therapy dog. She's not been trained for anything. But she does it because she knows.
They're
And I'm
very
so
empathetic.
grateful
They're very
for this
empathetic.
sweet animal.
Right. I love dogs so much. I mean, they are really man's best friend.
Yes.
There is a certain bond between
It's
humans and
indescribable.
dogs. Yeah. It's just...
Well, I think the fact that, we get more upset when a dog dies in a movie, it's because we know that dog is innocent.
Right. There's
Dog
something...
carries no baggage.
Yeah. Exactly. Dion says, first live stream, and I already love it here. You guys are... Oh, thank you, Dion. I'm so glad you got to join, and thank you so much for everybody. I really loved tonight's stream because I think that was it's a really good practice to get in for us being real and genuine about things.
Yeah.
And it's not just about entertainment. There are some things where you just have to, if it's uncomfortable, you just have to talk about it.
Absolutely.
So thank you. And thank you, Noble, for suggesting we do that. That was really nice. And thank you so much for everybody for all your comments and for hanging out. And this is pretty much my socializing.
Yes.
Yes. We're not going to work. We're working from home for the most part. So this is a healthy dose of socialization. I hope you feel that as well, that you feel like you are in a support group here, and you can... Flex did post the Discord link.
I'll post it
But if you missed it, we're going to post it again. So come join us on Sunday. We're going to watch Dune, and we're just a generally really nice group of people. Don't get into arguments and stuff like that. We're just nice and supportive. William Hacking says, good night, guys. Thanks for the updates and real stuff. Thank you, William. Thanks so much for joining. Andrew, Jason, Tiara. Thank you, guys. Yes. Dune on Sunday will be fun. And I guess that's it. So we will go ahead and sign off now, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Have a good weekend, everyone.
Oh, Mr. Tellis says one more set of virtual hugs. Mwah.
Mwah. Bye.